Yeah, I don't care. OBS cares about as much about this podcast as I do.
That took a second to click.
Man, people are going to start to think I really don't like doing this at some point.
Aw.
Got my chat. All is well.
I like keeping it ambiguous so nobody really knows. It's just like, is this something I just secretly loathe doing, and I just do it out of force of habit?
Like a bad relationship.
Yeah, it's like a bad relationship. It's like, I fucking hate doing this, but I'm going to keep doing it because it's the only thing I've got to do
for the
right
kids.
now. Do it for the kids, exactly. All the kids that tune in to this quality content. Keep them entertained. It's all about them. My life stopped mattering 20 years ago.
Yep. That's it. We started this podcast, and that was the end of our lives.
Yeah, that was the end of
ourselves.
That was the end of individual John Thayer, individual Rhett, and individual Polly. We were then dedicated to this wonderful art of podcasting. Why have we not received an Ombudsman Award yet? We've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Wait, we've been doing this for 5 years. Where's our sponsorship?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to give it 6 episodes or so.
I know. You're supposed to do 6 episodes and get your sponsorship, and like, well, fuck this.
You just go to squarespace.com, type in promo code SOCKS.
And get promo code Boon Pies. It's a cross promotion.
There probably is a Squarespace code that is socks that we could probably just use.
For what reason?
I don't know, but it would be funny. It'd be real funny if we did it.
There has to be at least one there.
Hey, Dan, what is up? Oh, my God.
I can't throw a stone at a podcast that doesn't have a Squarespace promo.
How's it going, Tinger Gemini, as well? But yeah, I bet there's a Squarespace promo code that is just socks, and we could plug it, and we wouldn't get jack shit from it.
Yeah.
But it'd be real funny because it would be legit at least.
I'm positive there's at least one subscription box that just ships you socks, and that it has advertised on a bunch of podcasts.
Exactly. Why doesn't Sock Dreams have something like that?
Oh, that'd be good.
Like, that would be real good.
Just send you socks once a month.
I would be the absolute best to have that sponsorship. Yo, somebody get a hold of Sock Dreams. Let them know.
I had no idea that MeUndies was a subscription box. It's subscribe to get
it's a
underwear in the
box,
mail.
But you can also just get the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some MeUndies. They're very comfortable.
Oh shit.
They're very good.
I almost bought a Casper mattress.
Thank you for the sub, Tinger Gemini. Every time I think I'm like, wait, I think I'm over it. I think I'm not going to laugh anymore. Nope, there it is. It happened again.
Oh, I should probably look at chat so I can sub too.
I saw no less than 2 pairs of discarded underwear on the street during my walk today, so maybe that's a MeUndies Target demo.
That could be. Somebody they just got their MeUndies and just ripped the old crappy ones off. Right in the middle of the street. Fuck this shit. I'm sorry.
I saw a tweet that was to the effect of when streamers interact with the chat, that's the modern day equivalent of fair maidens flinging their flowers out to or knights flinging something out to the fair maidens.
It's pretty good.
I like to think that's our dynamic with our listeners.
I think that's.
So I just handed Colin my handkerchief.
Yeah, it's about on point.
A token.
Oh my god.
Hey, Polly, do you remember how to introduce the podcast?
I do! Welcome to the Sockscast, episode 98. Brought to you, always, by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, make 7-Up yours. Welcome, everybody. Is everybody ready?
I honestly was like, are you going to say episode 99? I'm not ready.
No, it's 98. Don't worry.
Okay. Got a month.
Thanks for the 10 bits, Tinker. And thanks
for
resubscribing, Rhett.
2 years.
2 years. 24
That's what 24
months.
months is. I can do math.
That's dedication right there.
It's a baker's dozen.
That's a baker's dozen. You've given me like $48.
Do you actually get money from it? That's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't actually pay for it because I just use the Amazon thing.
I don't think I'm actually allowed to talk about how things are monetized during a stream. So.
Okay.
You know. Like, I can't say, oh, yeah, 10 bits is 10 cents. Wink, wink, wink. Nudge, nudge, nudge. Thanks for the 10 cents, Tengu Gemini. Exactly. It's enough to buy 2 moon pies per year, and that's it. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Can you even buy moon pies anymore? Did you find them yet?
I'm pissed! I'm
Oh,
pissed! They are not only can I not fucking get moon pies at my local Rite Aid like I used to be able to, just go down there when you're picking up any kind of prescriptions you need called in. I have acid reflux, so every month, hey, oh no, tum-tum gets all rumbly. Gotta go get my omeprazole prescription. Get that. Like, hey, there's a big old box of double-decker moon pies. Pick that up. Boom, you're good to go. They fucking stop.
Eat a bunch of those, get more acid reflux.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm like, what if there's a connection?
Look, there may be a correlation here, but it's a yummy correlation, and it's one that I'm willing I'm willing to put up with this. So, go to Walmart. They ain't got boxes either anymore. There's no double-deckers anywhere, and I'm a little angry.
Oh, no.
Because now you got to settle for this just, like, single-layer bullshit, and that is...
okay.
That is...
They do have something?
That is pussy bullshit. Single-layer moon pies are pussy bullshit. Why do they even make them? Get them the fuck out of here. You just make double... Listen. I'm the business person here. I'm the one with the business degree. Probably. I could probably have one if I wanted one, all right? I could have a business degree if I wanted one.
Take it from somebody.
It just matters that I have the chutzpah. The chutzpah. I think that's how you say that. That I could run this business better than the people already there, and I'm telling you. Double-deckers, the only thing you need. Get this single shit out of here. Listen! Rite Aid, Walmart, get your shit together, motherfuckers. I'm not taking it anymore because I'm literally not getting them anymore, and I'm angry about that. It's customer service. I don't think that Walmart or Rite Aid listen to this podcast.
But Moon Pie do because we're the sponsor.
Exactly. Moon Pie very obviously listens to this podcast. To my immediate virtual right, wild and bereft, Rhett is born.
Hi.
How's it going?
Going good.
Going good. You ready for a cast of the pod variety?
I think this will be a nice short one.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't
have much.
I don't think most of us are up to much of anything.
It's weird, even though it's been a 3-week gap.
Thank you for the 6 months. Blowjob John, my good friend.
Oh, that's one of my 2 best friends.
Yes, exactly. He read your
John, you can't have 2 best friends. One of them has to be the better friend.
Boss did read it first.
Oh, timeliness does matter in these kinds of things.
I sure gave very detailed feedback, though, which was appreciated. Equal. 2 best friends.
Thank you for the 10 bits as well. Okay. So you're ready for a cast of the pod variety, and you ain't got much to talk about, so we're just going to be in it and out in no time, right?
In and out with Polly.
Right. In and out with me. That's how Rhett always is, by the way. Just in and out. Sex! We're talking
and quickly.
about...
That's the other thing. In and out quickly.
Sex! In and out quickly. Until ejaculation occurs.
Well, that ruins the metaphor.
Oh, yeah. It kind of just, lays it all out on the table, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've done that before.
Yeah, you have.
Pull it out.
You just whip it down on the table. 3 of the legs break. It's a thing. Look, I'm telling you,
I'm the table with
that thing legs. that thing will split you in half like you're being pulled apart by horses.
No, there's a table with 3 legs because the last leg is broken, and then they just sit Rhett on his hands and knees underneath the table and holds it up with.
Now that's.
I guess you could just use the hands and knees, so it doesn't really work. But
no, it's a table with 1 leg.
Yeah.
No,
there you are.
That's big dick energy right there. That's some big dick energy. To my immediate virtual left, ass disaster incarnate. It's John Thayer.
That's absolutely true.
It absolutely
It's very accurate. That was accurate earlier today, and then I went and got a hide the salami bagel at my local place, and they call it a hide the salami because they just put so much meat and mayonnaise on it that it hides the just fuck ton of salami they put on it. So they start off with a bunch of meat, and then they cover it with a bunch of other meat and unhealthy things until you can't see it anymore, and that's why it's called a hide the salami. So if we have an emergency mid-podcast where we just need like a 20-minute break, that's
what I tell you should call it, John?
A 20-minute break for John to poop?
No. You're having a case of something.
A case of... I forget what you said. Sorry.
Oh my God, John.
Ruined the joke.
You ruined the fucking joke. Why do we even podcast anymore?
I don't know. It's you carry the whole thing, Polly.
I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm just looking at them, kind of like that stop, pause, Zach Morris move where everything pauses.
You look at the camera.
And I'm looking at the camera, and I'm like, can you believe I deal with this chat? Can you believe this fucking bullshit? Try to tell this motherfucker he's got a case of Moody Booty, and
that's the one.
He can't remember. Unpause. So I'm going to go first because it turns out I have a lot of things to talk about this time.
Oh, boy.
A few of them might make people mad. I don't know. That's the first thing I want to do. The first thing we have to do is today is a very special day. We record these on Sunday. Right. We record these on Sundays typically.
Okay.
And so by the time you hear this, it might already be done. But today is July 28th. 2019, the year of our Lord and Savior, Rhett. And it is our good friend Iffy's birthday. Valuable, amazing, awesome member of our lovely little circle and community. And I just wanted to take this moment out of our lovely little podcast to wish her the happiest of birthdays from this entire, group of people. Like, everybody in chat, go ahead and say hi and happy birthday. Even though she's not watching this and can't see it, probably.
She'll watch the replay.
What matters is that we did it.
Yes.
We did it. Like, this is literally in my contract, by the way. Have to do this. So there you go. There you go. We got
it was in the vows.
We got some... Yeah, there you go. She'll probably see this later at some time. Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe. Yo, how many of y'all played a game called Blazing Chrome?
Nope.
Nope?
I played about 30 seconds when, this feels pretty good.
All right. Good. All right.
I watched your stream of it, though, and I watched your quick look.
Right.
Polly Peep Show.
So, it's a game called Blazing Chrome. It's by some... Well, I wouldn't say friends of the podcast because we just had them on once and did an interview and it was real good.
People we look at from afar and just be like,
they make good games. Good.
Yeah, stand outside their house, be like, oh yes, you're our friend.
They are our friends. Be my friend, my best friend.
And put your game on itch.
Put your game on itch. There you go.
That's the only story anyone cares about.
That's literally it. Yeah. So
they have Oniken and Odalis on there.
Yeah, they do actually.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, like they made Oniken and Odalis, which are two really good throwback games. You've got
I played Oniken.
You got a Ninja Gaiden throwback, which it's real good. It's super fast. It's slick. It's got its own rhythm to it. That sets it apart from Ninja Gaiden, but it's very obviously pulling from that tool set. And then you've got the sort of Gargoyles Quest-ish kind of Castlevania hybrid of Odalis the Dark Call, which is really awesome. It's a much bigger and much more ambitious project. Some would call it a Metroidvania. I wouldn't, because that word is stupid.
I mean, it's very stage-based.
And it's very stage-based. I would call it a Shantae-like. Boom. There you go. How about that?
Zelda 2
I hate that just as much.
Hunters-ish.
It's Hunters-ish.
Legacy of the Wizard.
Legacy of the Wizard. Exactly. Boom. There you go.
No, Xanadu, because that one is actually stage-based. Perfect.
Every game is really just derived from Clash of Demon Head.
There you go. That's literally it. So Blazing Chrome is the hot new jam from Joy Masher. This is very inspired by games like Contra Hardcore, primarily. If you get a look at this game, if you get a look at this game's palette, and you get a look at some of its set pieces and its general flow.
I didn't feel that at all watching your vids.
And a lot of early Irem stuff. Like stuff that predates Metal Slug, but still has like things that led to Metal Slug later. Like I wouldn't say that this game is directly inspired by Metal Slug because Metal Slug has an entirely different rhythm. So, but it's very Gunforce 2 inspired.
Cool. So you're getting way more nuance than I've heard people get. Everyone just goes, yeah, it's Contra Hardcore, but with a bit of Metal Slug because of the vehicles.
Yeah. And because you have a melee attack. That's
Oh, that's clearly an alien.
Listening to people describe this game literally drives me up a fucking wall.
You're too close to it.
I'm too close. I am. I will admit. Like I had prior to incidents happening, I'd been hanging out in the Discord, the developers Discord, while waiting for this game to come out, and shortly after the release and shit. So I'm a little close to this game probably. So.
Remember that old comic you did for, the Poly Comics where it's like, Contra 4 is coming out, do not release Poly from your box until Contra 4 is out.
This is me. This is the game that I've literally been talking about for the last 2 years since it was announced. Yeah. So everybody probably knows what Blazing Chrome is at this point.
Because you retweet like everything, every dev update.
I retweet every little thing Danilo Diaz said leading up to the release of this game, and I'm going to be doing it with Moonrider as well. Blazing Chrome. It's their Contra / Gunforce-like. It's got really good level design, really fun boss design. It takes all of those things and is just really smart about implementing them in ways that feel good. Like, they're good at emulating that old school style, but still making their games feel like they have their own kind of core to them, as opposed to just like Super Cyborg.
Oh, yeah.
For those first 5 stages, it's literally, hey, I'm Super C!
Whereas, the sprites were so similar in that, where it's like...
Well, they were closer before...
lawsuit-worthy. Yeah.
Before it came to Steam...
Oh, right.
It had NES sound effects and the jungle sprites and shit had less detail, so you could tell that they were taken directly from Super C.
Woof.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blazing Chrome. It's one of these games. It's it's a side-scroll, runny, gunny, shooty game where you blow things up a lot. It feels good. You got a melee attack. You knock enemies back. It's super crunchy. It's got that melee attack's got a great feel to it. A lot of people have issue with the fact that you have an evasive roll in this game and it doesn't make you invincible. So I guess that. I guess that every game that has some kind of evasive roll now, it has to be invincible for some reason.
Because Dark Souls...
I think I remember that with Hyper Light Drifter, really. They, patched in iframes.
Yeah, they patched in iframes.
Oh, my God.
They're talking about doing the same thing in Blazing Chrome as well in the next update, because, people have complained about it. It's just but that's not how the bosses and shit... the bosses are designed for you to literally use the evasion move to get out of the way of attacks that come in very quickly. It's not used to just roll through damage. It's not used to face tank like hardcore.
Mm-hmm. And I know, it's weird. I do want to say, people are bitching because it's not like Dark Souls, but in Contra Hardcore, the roll, or the dodge slide thing actually was invincible, so... But it's different. Not every game has to do the same thing.
Literally people bitching that you can't drop through platforms, even though there's literally only 2 places in this game where you'd literally want to do that. And it's just you don't need this functionality. It doesn't need to be programmed in. Fucking stop.
Yeah, that's so, that's so, reflexive.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Just play the game. Have a good time.
Exactly. This game can be its own thing. It doesn't need to be every fucking thing. This game is wearing its inspiration on its sleeve, sure, but it's not that game. Mostly because, hey, guess what? This game is a lot of run and gun and not a lot of bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So notice that. This game's not a boss rush game, and it really felt good to play another one of these games where it was just hey, The boss design is great. I like most of them. There are a few that I think are bullshit, and I've already expressed my opinion to the developer, in which they were like, yeah, you're probably right on that. I probably need to fix that.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I'm
talking
smart.
to the developer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. But hey, I know this genre well, and I think that I think that my opinion on things like this can be trusted, and if the developer is listening to me and saying, yeah, we're going to take a look at that, maybe I'm probably right about something, okay? Cuphead sucks, by the way. Blazing Chrome is better than Cuphead.
Was the Dash in Cuphead invincible? I don't even remember.
You had to buy an upgrade, and when you bought the upgrade, it would turn you invisible and then move you over.
Right.
Yeah. Cuphead.
John, you haven't even played it.
I know. I'm just joining in on the pile-on. I just want to feel included.
You're included, John. You're included. Okay. There's that, but yeah, this is just hey, solid fucking run and gun. I had some issues with it at first. I ain't gonna lie. And I think one of my main issues and one of my main sticking points 3 weeks after the fact now is that I think the weapons are just not good. I think that the main weapon that you get, that you start out with, the machine gun, is the best weapon in the game aside from the grenade launcher, which is great at destroying bosses. And surprisingly, there's a laser that takes 3 seconds to charge up. And it's supposed to do a lot of damage, I guess. But if you just don't charge it and shoot, it can rip bosses in half if their hitboxes are long. So you can really tear some bosses in half.
That's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool, yeah. But it's I don't know, I don't think the weapons feel that good. Then there's the Licky Laser, which I can never figure out how to use in any way that is useful. It can pick up items, but it's so finicky that there's no way you're depending on that to pick up power-ups or one-ups or anything. Another thing that you get are, aside from the weapons, though, are little bots that kind of alter things. There's an attack bot you get, which is here's another stream of bullets. Then there's a speed bot, which gives you a fucking double jump and moves you twice as fast. And then there's the shield bot, which gives you 2 free hits. So, learning how to manage the bots in stages is a lot more fun than worrying about your weapons, mostly because I'm the only weapons I use are the grenade launcher and the laser, and I only use them on bosses. So I don't really worry about I don't worry about weapons all that much, or even if I lose them, I don't feel all that bummed out. Still working on a 1cc of hardcore mode. Boy, it's real fucking hard.
Wow. It's so funny because 2 weeks ago you were like, this isn't this. I'm not even gonna bother with this. This is just bullshit.
Yeah, but now I've got I've only got 3 achievements left to give, so I might as well just 100% the game if I can.
Obviously, might as well.
I'm learning it though. I'm learning that hardcore may not be as unfair and bullshitty as I thought. I'm seeing patterns to things that I probably wasn't looking close enough at before. There's another cool mode that unlocks when you finish the game. It's mirror mode. You play the stages in reverse. The maps are flipped and you're typically going to the left. And it definitely makes the game feel weirder than you would think it would. It fucks with you really cool. And another cool thing was the programmer actually told me in Game Maker how he accomplished that effect, which was really cool. So I could actually technically implement that in a game if I wanted to, because I know how he did it. It didn't involve respriting or redrawing any art or anything. It's just use of layers and flipping the viewable layer.
So it's the same game though. It's not going through the stages backwards.
No, it's you select you get your pick of the first 4 stages. You can play them in any order.
No, but I mean you start, say a level moves up normally, and in this mode you don't start at the top and then work.
No. It's left to right mirrored.
It's just a mirror.
Yeah, it's left to right mirrored.
It's weird that it feels so different then.
It's so weird.
It's the same stage.
It feels so fucking weird to be going left in a game like this. It's so fucking bizarre. And then there are 2 extra characters you unlock for completing the game on normal and above for the first time. They are melee characters, and they feel so entirely different. They don't have to worry about gun pickups, but they can get the little weapon pods. And if you've played Hardcore Uprising and you picked up Sayori as DLC, like, she fundamentally changes that. She changes that game in a way that is completely like. They didn't have to change anything to make it work either, and that's how the melee characters work in Blazing Chrome as well, is that, like, they didn't really change anything to make those characters work. They just kind of feel good and work with the way that they are, and, like, playing the game either way with, like, a shooty character or a melee character, like, both of them feel real good.
They look really interesting. Also, what do they say?
Oh... The ninja says, "Ninja." He charges his sword and just goes, "Ninja."
Ninja. Ninja.
Ninja. Ninja. It's very funny. It's very, it's like, I don't know if that's what they're saying. I swear to God, that's what it sounds like to me.
It sounds a lot like it.
And I don't want to know. I don't ever want to be told differently if that's not what they're saying.
You've got a voice in the developer's ears, and you won't ask this burning question.
I don't want to fucking know. But yeah, like, despite the fact that I think the weapons are kind of like, I still think that this is a really fucking solid run and gunner. Like, and it's getting the praise I think that it deserves. Like, people really seem to be on board with this game in a way that they sort of haven't with Joy Master's previous games. So,
okay.
And I think that it may be due to the fact that they've just got a much larger reach this time, because they're on the Switch, they're on the PS4, they're on the Xbox One now. They've got they pushed it out through a publisher that seems to be doing right by them. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right. This was on Game Pass, like, day one, too.
Yeah, this was on Game Pass day one.
So that's a ton more eyes on your game, at least.
Yeah. So, like, this game definitely kind of got the kind of reach that their previous games never did, even when those games got eventually ported to Switch and PS4 and Xbox One and the like. But I think that, like, just the artistic quality that this game has, like, it immediately catches your eye just with how amazing the sprite work is. Especially like the backgrounds and like, and I'm pretty sure all of that was done by Danilo himself.
God.
So that's a lot. Like, this is a game that's got all the fucking sprite art in it, like all of it, literally all of it.
Yeah. I just can imagine, though, the jump from going from doing 8-bit games to, you know, a 16-bit style one, just how much harder that is.
Yeah, like, and because
animating
like,
all those bosses and stuff.
And because he's so active on Twitter about that stuff, it was kind of fun seeing all of that detail come together, because he would kind of like sprite them out in an 8-bit style and then start adding detail to kind of 16-bit them, and then
nice.
And then composite that with a Mega Drive image that is similar. Just to kind of be like, are the colors close? Like, we're not going 100% here, but we're going close. So it was really cool to kind of see a lot of that shit come together. Blazing Chrome is good.
Awesome.
Cool. I have it on Switch. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I think you're gonna dig it. It's probably gonna take a while. That game's hard. Yeah. That game's real hard. It made me and Beepy real sad when we streamed it.
Jeez. I saw.
When he got wrecked by that one boss.
Apparently there's a few parts on the Switch version that they're going to patch that have significant slowdown. Like, there's a spider boss that just...
Oh, yeah, the spider boss wrecks the Switch.
So they're changing it to not be particle bullets.
Yeah. They're going to add the shadows and shit back into. They found a way to kind of do shadows that don't fuck up. That's crazy. Yeah. It was interesting hearing about the Switch development and how they had to kind of like do smart things to kind of downgrade it.
Mm-hmm. It is wild, though, that, you know, a 16-bit game, or 16-bit looking game, but then it can't run on the Switch, which is a pretty powerful system, realistically. But yeah, and then you read about, it's actually using like particle effects and stuff. And
Game Maker 2's Switch platform exporting apparently is just real bad right now. So it's not really up to snuff completely.
I was very surprised Game Maker was on there at all and didn't even know they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been pushing it for big developers for a while now.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, it's always been a little jank.
Yep. that's Blazing Chrome. It's real good. I like it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm still gonna try. I'm still gonna get that hardcore 1cc. That's gonna be real. I've not beaten it on hardcore either. Like, I don't know. I just want the 1cc. So like when I could probably beat the game using the 3 continues they give you.
I think you should practice the end of whatever happens at the end.
I probably should. Yeah, but I keep bailing because like stage 5 is a disaster. Woo, so stage 5 is a disaster.
I did notice when playing it a bit myself that you pick the first 4 stages in whatever order, similar to Shattered Soldier.
Yeah.
And then 5 and
if there's 6 anything
after that. Okay, 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, 4, like BB says that 4 and 5 are shit enough on normal. They really are.
I should just start the game on 4 though and then learn that one.
There you go.
Immediately.
There you go. I'm pretty good at 4 now though. I don't like really die, and there's like there's some fun AI there's some fun AI problems right now that make a couple of the bosses. You can just like, I'm just going to lay down where I start in this battle and not move at all, and you will never hurt me.
Oops.
Whoops. Yeah, that's a good game. Blazing Chrome. Go pick it up. And check out the rest of Joy Masher's stuff, too. I am unapologetically a stan for Joy Masher, so, yeah. Go check out their shit. John Thayer!
Hi!
What's up?
I beat Mega Man 11.
Yo, that game's pretty good. I didn't even know you were playing this.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get back to it and kind of play it a little more deeply. Because I think I kind of mushed my way through the main stages a little bit with the store, because you have access to that.
You can absolutely just slam your face into the stages and just with the store help and not have a problem.
Yeah, but once you get to the Wily stages, you can't go back to the store, as far as I could tell.
I don't think so.
Or maybe, I think you can go back to the store, it's just that you can't go back to the main stages, and the Wily stages give very few bolts. Next to no bolts. So as soon as I fudged my way through the main game, and then I suddenly was at Wily, where I was like, oh, now I actually have to play it legit.
Oh,
I was
shit.
like, oh god, oh no.
Play a video game.
Okay, what you do is you play the main game legit, and then you get to Wily and you just save everything for the ending.
Yeah, then you just...
That would have made more sense.
That's what everybody does.
I've got 20 E-tanks.
That's what everybody does with Mega Man 9. See, like that Wily Castle in 9 is a mother bitch, so you save everything up for that.
Yep. So, I thought this game was really cute. I like all the stages. Just speaking of Mega Man 9, I went back to that one a while ago, and it seemed, and it was weird playing it where a couple of the times it would go through the stages and they would introduce new ideas, like big new ideas, like right at the end of the level, and it made it feel a little bit scattershot in some ways. It was like, we're just kind of throwing stuff at you. We got these ideas. Just play our game.
Play our game. It's really hard.
It's really hard. That's the main thing here.
That game is like... It's very kind of Kaizo adjacent, where there's just so many moments in it where it's like, I gotcha.
Yeah, that game is really full of gotcha moments.
You tried to jump over that pit, but you got to stand there for a second, and then the thing jumps out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That feels very intentional with Mega Man 9. Like, it feels...
It's very... We know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this on purpose. It may be a little misguided because I think that they probably thought this is what NES hard is. I think that game does fall into that trap of, oh, it's hard because it's an NES game and all NES games are impossible, so things have to be impossible, even though we are smarter about level design these days.
And it's much harder than Mega Man 1 and 2 and 3.
Oh, it's way harder. Yeah, like
it's harder than 1.
It's definitely a lot of ROM. There's a lot of ROM hack shit going on in Mega Man 9.
Yeah. So this still has teeth. 11.
Yeah.
It definitely still has teeth. Wily 1's real good and real hard, huh?
Oh my god,
That stage is an epic. It's very good.
I said that in my initial impressions of this, shortly, I think it was the first Sockscast year, that I was a bit disappointed that the Wily Castle only had 2 stages.
Yep.
But I replayed this game again recently because I'm trying to get the 1cc on it without using the store at all. And man, Wily 1 was real good.
Yeah, it's just a really good level.
I kind of didn't care that Wily 2 wasn't as great.
Wily 2 just doesn't have any bottomless pits, so it's very feels a lot easier, I think. Yeah. And then it's over, so it's over real quick. And then you have boss fights and then end the game.
Yeah.
This just felt like Wily 1 especially had that very nice pacing where it's just building all these things. All the levels have like their big idea. It's very like,
here's the final test.
It's very article about game design.
Yeah.
Like it's very good on the 101 stuff, basically.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate it for that. I think the fire stage was a really strong example of that, where they have the advancing wall of flame like 2 or 3 times, interspersed throughout the stage with these other recurring ideas.
Some of those normal stages just go on way too long. I think they could have removed one checkpoint and whole section from a few of those stages.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Like for me, like the Mega Man 2 stage length is still just like, oh, this is perfect. Oh, I love this, and then everyone after that is like, let's make it much longer.
Yeah.
Okay. So I vibe with that. But yeah, and then even the 101 stuff just kind of goes through the whole game, where like even the final boss, it does the thing where Wily uses the same doodads that you have. Yeah. The double gear is very cool.
The double gear system is real underrated. And I see so many people that have streamed this game that I hate saying people are playing a game wrong. But I think that if you're playing this game and not engaging with the double gear system, you're doing it wrong.
It just has a...
It makes so many things easier. It makes so many things more fun. Like, I don't know why people can't get their head around wanting to use the double gear system.
Yeah, because that's not Mega Man. It's new and different.
I know that's the mentality.
That's got to be it though, because especially after Mega Man 9 was like so slavish to Mega Man 2, basically.
Yeah, and people that don't fucking use Robot Master weapons. When again, this is another collection. This is another collection of sub weapons that are so fucking good.
So good. That's what it was. I was trying to remember like what made Wily 1 so fun for me.
Because you use those weapons stage so much.
And they let you choose them up with the right analog stick, like the Axiom Verge.
Yes.
So I'm just like, it's so snappy. I'm just like switching constantly between all 8 weapons playing the stage.
And like you get the rush item. The rush items are on their own face buttons, so you don't have to switch to them at all. Like, it's just real fucking smart about how everything is put together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
Can I confess something?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys that never used the Robot Master weapons until Mega Man 9.
Wow, yeah.
I basically played those first 8 games without fucking bothering.
And you're making it so much harder on yourself. Like,
after 4, once you get the charge beam...
for like 4, 5, 6, 7, they suck.
It's that weird fucking mentality, too, of playing the RPG and finding an elixir in the second town and saving it until the end boss and then never using it.
Yeah.
Well... John made a game all about that.
Well, okay. Let's be fair. John is a weirdo.
Then I've gone back to Mega Man 2 since and been like, oh my god, the Metal Blade. Oh!
The Metal Blade one-shots literally everything. It's the same thing in Mega Man 9 with the Trident. It literally replaces your pea shooter.
Yeah, it really... Those are both kind of broken.
Better broken than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... where you just don't use the weapons because they're boring.
Because, yeah.
Oh, but you could shoot snakes in 3.
That's true. Three's better.
They slowed down the whole damn game so much, though. You shoot 2 snakes, you put that game in Contra Force mode.
I remember going back to 3 and it's like you load Top Man stage and it just is lagging already. Before you do anything.
Mega Man 3 is my favorite of the retro Mega Man games, but yeah, it's got some problem. Even like the music causes lag. Which is proven in the speed run where they literally do a trick to turn the music off and the game runs faster.
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad because that's the best music.
Yeah, it's Gemini Man's stage.
That's crazy.
So funny.
It's so good though.
Cool.
So back to Mega Man 11. I apologize. Yeah. I apologize.
That was me as well.
It's got a little bit of like that. The 101-ness is so like felt that it feels a little bit like...
It feels like they watched YouTube videos on 101 level design, and we're like, let's just follow that.
Yeah. It feels, again, I think I've said this for a couple games, where like, this feels like what people say Nintendo games are.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, but it's actually good. Yeah. But still feels like that.
But it's very, like, it's so fucking transparent that it is just like somebody was standing there with a checkbox going, okay, we see this, we see the obstacle first, then we interact with it in a harmless environment. The next time we see it, we introduce a new element, such as an enemy in the vicinity, or put the item over a pit so that when the player interacts with it, they know that there are also dangers involved. It's like, yeah, like you're kind of like, when it's that fucking blatant, and every fucking stage in 11 does that.
Yeah. So it feels like, I got an image on one of my old blog posts that kind of fits that. Let me see if I can link it.
It's a podcast, John.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Not doing us a lot of good on our audio podcast.
Yeah.
There we go.
That was pretty quick, actually.
That was, that was
okay, let's see what this is.
Okay, that's actually pretty funny.
Thank you.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So our podcasters won't appreciate that.
It's a picture of 1-1 from Super Mario Brothers, and every item is pointed at, and it just says blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
So yeah, that it feels a little plastic in that sense. Yeah. A little bit like, it's a video game. But I still had a really, really nice time with it. Wily 1's real fun and real hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's real fun and real hard, even using everything I had. I used the double gear, I used the power, I used both double gears, I used all the weapon items, and it was still really hard and really satisfying. I probably spent a third of the time I played on the game on Wily 1 because I just cheesed the main stages and then was like, well, I'm not going to start over, so...
I would recommend at some point replaying those original stages though, because they are good. They are good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to do that. I don't feel like I've really completed my relationship with it yet. Also, I want to beat. I started on the boss rush, just trying to beat all the bosses with the pea shooter. Not because that's the only way to play the game, but just because that forced me to kind of engage with their patterns instead of cheesing through them.
And I like that bosses have unique ways of utilizing the double gear system as well.
Yes. Oh, that's so cute.
Yes.
I love that.
They're real good.
Yeah. The Wily using the double gear at the very end.
That's
perfect.
So fucking good.
It's so good.
It's such a simple fight, and it's just that right amount of clever. Like that's it's clever use, and it brings the whole idea of the double gear full circle, and it feels nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So one more time, it is that sort of like, this is a game design, and this is the final exam for the mechanic.
Yes.
But it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
I like it.
Like, this game hits all the right notes, I think.
Yeah. I had a good time.
In a game that could have been very cynical, very soulless. It could have been Mighty Number 9.
I was just about to say, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been Mighty Number 9, but it's very clear that the people behind this game cared a lot.
And they had you talk about this being kind of a basic 101, like they looked at a list of game design tutorial things.
Yes.
They also had Mighty Number 9 being there like, hey, don't do this!
Don't do this!
So you mentioned the robot weapon switching is on the right analog stick, which is very smart, like, because those games, they did make it easier when you went to the SNES and you had, shoulder buttons to switch.
Yeah.
Fucking Mighty Number 9 did the dumbest thing where there were just 3 buttons you could map to specific robot
so bad.
Weapons. So, like, you could switch to 3 of them super easily and then, like, another button to be back to your default.
Yeah.
But then the final boss had you using more than 3, so you still had to, like...
You still had... Yeah!
Pause and go into the menu.
Oh, God.
What a like, right analog stick is just so much smarter.
What a fucking disaster that game is.
Number 8, Game of the Year.
Yep.
Rat. What have you been up to?
Oh boy, I've been still cranking along doing Mario levels.
Making all the Mario Maker levels.
And John is the only person who plays and loves my levels.
Oh,
I really love them.
That game's weird because it feels like there's just so many more makers than players right now. It's so hard to get exposure, and I think Nintendo, like, there could be things that they could do to let player. Okay, Storm in chat says he plays my levels. So like I'm not calling out anybody in the community. It's just like when I go on Reset Era and post my level, and it gets 0 extra plays from that. It's like, yeah, it's just because that thread is just literally hundreds of people posting their levels, and I play like 5 of them, and then it's like, okay, and then boy, they just keep coming in, and you kind of lose interest after like half of them are bad, the ones you play. But like, I don't know if they could do like community playlists or something, because basically it boils down to, I'm so sick of typing in codes.
Oh, man.
You see, I like BP's idea here of making a light version that just lets you play levels, but they don't want to make them. Like, I like that idea.
That's how RPG Maker on the 3DS was sold. You can buy the whole game, and it'll let you make RPGs, or you can just download a free player that lets you play people's games. It's very nice.
It's neat. I don't think they would do a free version.
Not a free one. No, like if it's fucking a Mario game, I ain't doing it for free, bitch. That's not smart. Look, like I said at the start of the show, I'm probably good at business, and you don't give away like a Mario player for free.
No. You don't.
Because then people would just start making like as close as they could official levels.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, I just made here's a, Super Mario World with half the stuff missing. It's pretty close. They raised the upload limit on levels now, so I don't feel like I'm about to, because I'm at 10 uploads right now, and the limit was 32, and now it's 64. So it's like, okay, and they even said we're gonna do that one more time, so it'll probably be like 100.
Yeah, and then by the time you hit 100, you'll be looking back at your previous stages like, fuck you, delete.
Oh, I mean, that Shadowbringers one has like way less plays than anything else, because that one kind of sucks. It just starts in a dark room and you fall in a pit.
Oh no, I love that one. I thought that was
the second half is better though. I think I could easily just take that one and fix the first half. People don't like you have to walk slowly forward. And speaking of you have to walk slowly forward, I made a level based on her lullaby.
And that is very thematically smart, because it really does follow the story in a Mario way.
As best as I could for a level that was also made in like 40 minutes.
Right. You made this one night after work, kind of just on a whim, it felt like. And
I just said the thing, a Mario level based on her lullaby, and then I was like,
made it happen.
And then actually made it like in an hour.
That's pretty good.
So it's basically a level where you can't jump, or it'll fail. So you have to guide this Goomba, who's your partner, through the level.
And then you're threatened by the approaching Goomba, and you're like, do I shoot the Goomba with the firepower? And if you do, it doesn't work out for you.
Then you're fucked.
Bad end. Dead end.
Yeah, that's the only flaw, is that like there's no way to kind of cancel. I mean, if this level wasn't like a super rush thing, there'd be ways to like fuck the player if
obviously
more immediately, like if you jump the ceiling just falls or something. But then at the end of the level, they go their separate ways.
See, it's so good. It's so good.
Like, I intentionally set it up so that you don't see the Goomba kind of disappear when you hit the flagpole, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll put the player up in the air, and then they'll hit kind of the top and not see the bottom. Because then I also made a Virtue's Last Reward level that I'm very happy with.
This was really good.
That one turned out great.
So yeah, you got to give an explanation on this one.
So in Virtue's Last Reward, it's 9 people stuck in kind of a kidnapped situation. And they play the thing called the Ambidex game, and they either vote ally or betray. And if 2 people, there's a whole scoring thing that I kind of tried to replicate a bit in this.
If 2 people ally with one another, they both get equal number of points. If one betrays the other and the other allies, the betrayer gets more points.
Yeah.
You got it across.
Yeah.
So in this one, it's basically I simplified the rules a bit where if you get betrayed, you just get dropped in lava.
Yeah. It's true.
And you get 2 coins for voting ally and 3 coins for voting betray. And that level's... John, I have to show you the flow chart of that level because it actually uses like every single possible door and pipe in it.
Yeah,
So,
you had to actually count down like every usable element.
Because then I changed the design like halfway through when I realized like, oh, Yoshi as a power-up is just fucking broken.
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible because Yoshi was originally first. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, oh, I literally can't make a puzzle that involves Monty Mole help if the player might also have Yoshi.
Yeah.
Because Yoshi can just walk on spikes and can also just walk on munchers and can like, and even if you get hit, like you just jump back on Yoshi. So like,
man, Super Mario World's boring.
Yeah. Because then so in the final version, you just get a cape if you betray, and the cape you can just jump twice and float over the entire thing. But I'm like, that's fine. That's funny.
Yeah, you're betraying, so you get that reward.
So it's a very nice reward.
Yep, I BBB'd and then AAB'd. Well, I BBB'd and then AAA'd and then AAB'd.
And you weren't sure what you expected from trying to ally with Bowser.
What did I think was going to happen?
That had to be in there, obviously, though.
And
it's at the end. And it's at the end.
It's perfect. It worked out great. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, like, man, I could do, like, another version that just has a totally different set of allies and betrays, and even, like, what would a boss fight against Yoshi look like?
That would be weird.
Can you put a boss fight, or can you put a Yoshi in a clown car and have him go hostile on you? Because I've had super mushrooms get in that clown car and attack me. This game gets wild.
That's pretty good. Yeah, put Yoshi in a clown car and see what happens.
I have a feeling he won't, but you never know.
You never know. It could be fun. Could be fun. If he could vore you, that would be the best.
Obviously.
Well, he'll just shoot fireball. Yeah.
Hey, Frez, your Metal Gear Solid level. It's real good.
There you go.
It's real good. That's the one where I finished the second half, and I was like, this is my favorite final boss of the year so far.
Wow.
Well, because, like, I was making this level, and I wanted a boss at the end. Mm-hmm. And I just, like, had 3 ideas in a row that just didn't work. Because the original idea was, like, a tower of the big beetles, and then there was going to be a spike top on top of that. So I'm like, okay, the player definitely won't be able to jump on this. It's super tall, and there's a spike on top. Mm. And then I realized you could just damage boost into it, and then jump and kill the ones on the bottom. And then they would just start bouncing back and forth and just destroy the whole thing, like, immediately. And I'm like, shit. And then I had... So, like, that original small room where you just use the helmet to kill it, like, there were originally enemies in there, and it just... Nothing was working at all. Mm-hmm. And then I had this idea of a falling elevator.
So...
And I was just like, well, I think I could make this work, but I need a vertical stage. So I'm just going to have to make another level to do this idea.
Part two.
So, like... And then I was like, well, now that I've got another level, I may as well make the whole thing bigger. So, like, the end of 1 got bigger, and then there's that whole section at the start of 2, just so you don't immediately go into the final boss fight. That level took like 2 weeks, and I was like, man, I started to feel a bit bad about this game in a weird way by the end, just spending so long on this one idea. Because that level was just, I want to make a level about beetles, and then it just spun in this really weird direction. Where it turned into a stealth thing for a while, and then because the original working name was going to be like Beatlemania,
right,
as a joke, and then it became Beetle Gear Solid because it was just it's a stealth thing, then it's kind of like an exploration thing, and then it's just boss fights. It's really weird.
And that's Metal Gear Solid in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because I wanted the elevator fight to simulate, like, Snake and Liquid fighting on top Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So it's this... All it is, though, is a spike top, which are the little red beetles with the spike on top.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't shoot fireballs at them, and you can't jump on them. And all it does is walk back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's a really intense fight. All you have to do is jump over it a bunch of times. Because somehow
Yeah.
The timing worked. I didn't even realize this was going to happen when I started. When it falls from the falling elevator, it turns around.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that was going to happen. So I timed it out so that it just keeps walking back and forth without clawing up the wall until the very end. Like, this one thing, after like all these ideas in this game didn't work for me, I got this one thing to work like perfectly, or almost perfectly, because you can. So basically, if you time your duck and jump at the wrong time, you can kind of fall out of the elevator.
Whoops.
And if you jump, you can also get crushed to death like real easily.
Yep, I just kind of... There's a checkpoint right before
There's
it.
a checkpoint right before it.
Like, yeah, I'll learn this. That's fine.
It's really goofy.
And I completely loved your shmup level. It's so good.
I think that was so good.
Which is like really smart use of the engine, I think.
Yep.
That's the thing is I always, with my levels, I feel like I'm way more interested in like pushing the boundaries
of like what this thing can actually do.
Because like I showed John this thing earlier where I'm like, here's a level I could design that has 8 checkpoints, even though they only give you 2. Because if you hit both of them, if you hit the second checkpoint, the first one resets.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just go back and forth between them and keep getting checkpoints.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that while collecting red coins, you're actually making progress.
Oh.
So there is a way to actually kind of set things up so that they keep mattering.
Right.
That you're hitting checkpoints.
Interesting.
I saw that in another level where like immediately once you completed a segment, it would throw you to the first checkpoint and then you go through a pipe and immediately hit the second one again. So it would save your red coin progress.
I love that.
So like again, I'm way more interested in like fucking with the structure of it than I am making platforming levels.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing I don't want to do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like where most people are at these days. I think that the days of, I just made a platform level are kind of over, and now everything's either lots of gizmos, puzzles, and Kaizo.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm seeing on the people that I watch stream this game, and they do, like, endless Mario challenges or whatever. Mm-hmm. Those are the kind of, like, 3 things that all of the stages fit into. You just don't see any kind of just straight up, hey, I made a Mario level. Because
usually you beat those and go, okay.
I played a Mario game. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect that. I'm not disrespecting that hustle at all. Mm-hmm. It's just, everything's going to be like a Kaizo puzzle or...
I mean, I have played some very good platforming levels, and they actually seem extremely hard to design. That's why I'm a little intimidated by them. Because I was like, I'm going to make a level about the platforms that fall when you jump on them. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, okay, this feels okay to play. And then I played another level that happened to be all about that idea, except they were doing things where, like, there would be POW blocks on the platform so that when it fell, it would hit a muncher or something and, like, the level would explode. And I was like, man, this is so much fucking cooler than what I was doing.
Yeah, like, and I think that those are the kind of creative moments you run into while just fucking around in the editor and seeing what can happen.
Mm-hmm. That editor is still wild, though. Like, one of the things I always forget to do is just try putting wings on everything, because... there's just so many little interactions and things that'll happen. Like, one I found was, like, if you put a winged Bowser Jr. on top of Bowser, he'll throw hammers, just like Bowser did in the first game.
That's cool.
In, like, World 8. It's like, oh, neat. There's a way to replicate that functionality.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think these are exponentially more interesting than the Mario games Nintendo makes.
Oh, lately. Absolutely.
Coming from... I actually played Mario U this year, and it was like a whole game of... I mean, that was fine, I guess.
We made some Mario platform levels.
And, like, that game tried a bit, because, like, every single level would kind of introduce a new gimmick and then not really ever bring it back. Mm-hmm. But then this game, having that 3D world style in it as well, really, really drives home how fucking ugly New Super Mario Brothers is.
Yeah.
Like, holy cow.
Pretty fucking basic when you compare it to the real stylized stuff of the older games.
Yeah, like, you have the 3 pixel-based styles, but then you have 3D World now, which is using actual 3D models and doesn't look like, Flash tweens, basically.
Yeah.
Like, there's just something about New Super Mario Brothers that is just so flat and bad looking.
Yeah. It's that early, it's that DS 3D that's not really that great.
Well, it's not even that. It doesn't look anything like it looks like, the Wii.
The Wii version more. But, like, it's still evolved from that DS game.
Yeah. There's just something about it that's just bad.
And that is the Mario style for a long time. Like, even the mobile game came out, and it's like, looks like New Super Mario Brothers.
I know, right? The funny thing is that they actually, if you compare Mario Maker 1 and this, like, they actually made that style look better, and it still looks so bad.
Like, the backgrounds look real plastic and ugly, too.
But, like, some of them got better in this one. That's what's hilarious.
That's real weird.
Like, they added waterfalls into the cave background or something that wasn't actually in any of the New Super Mario Brothers games.
Yeah.
Because it's supposedly based on you, but, like, it looks better. It's still...
Yeah, like, I remember, like, on Wii and U, that New Super Mario Brothers look, like, the backgrounds looked like really high resolution, doesn't really fit with the material flash backgrounds where people would use they would use these super realistic backgrounds, but like you drew this spaceship that is just all gradients.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
Hey y'all.
Yeah.
Hey
y'all.
Yeah.
Wah.
Wah.
Somehow I didn't notice that this game does have wah wah in it for a very long time, mostly because I think people are backing off that style. Apparently that style was like the most popular one.
Yeah, because there was just so much fucking wall jumping and spinning. There's so much you can do with that stuff.
The wall jump, so like I don't hate playing in that style. I'll deal with it. The wall jumping feels fucking terrible. That's what's killing me. What I've realized is that like maybe it's a thing with the characters because you can play as Luigi, Toad, and Toadette in this. You're eligible to do a wall jump before your sprite comes in contact with the wall, and even when doing the slide, your sprite isn't actually like touching the wall. It just looks real bad.
That's real weird because I've not actually played it, so I don't know how that feels. But that sounds like it would feel.
It's like
real weird.
I've gotten a few levels that are clearly based on wall jumping, and like I'm like, fuck this, I'm out, because like I can't do it. It just feels so bad.
Yuck. That's terrible.
I
never thought that the wall jumping felt bad in New Super Mario Brothers itself. Like I played through those games just fine and didn't really have a problem with the wall jumping. But it sounds like they've recoded it from the ground up here, and it just
I don't know. It's mostly just that like if you're doing it once or twice, it's probably fine. But it's when it's in a level that like you have to do it like 30 times.
Oh, the level is built around this idea.
Yeah. It's like never touch the ground levels, basically.
Yeah.
With wall jumping. So that's when that frame or two where you're not actually touching the wall, but like you can wall jump. Because I'm always looking to start. I want to be in the sliding animation before I press the button to wall jump.
Right.
And like you'll play a level that is designed by somebody to be like perfectly timed out. And like if you're waiting for that, you're going to be too slow and die, basically.
Yeah. That'll fuck it up.
Yeah. I played a bit of the multiplayer. It actually wasn't too laggy like 2 weekends ago. It's fun.
It seems hit or miss still.
Yeah.
Like some of the people that I watch play it, obviously. I mean, there's going to be some like you're streaming also as well, so that's gonna. But like it seems real hit or miss. Like you've got maybe like a 60-40 shot at getting a good connection.
It was weird. I was like, oh, it's fixed. And then I saw a bunch of people being like, the multiplayer's still broken. I was like, oh, that's weird. I was playing it on like Saturday night and it was fine. But then basically I got to C rank and was like, I don't want to lose this now. I guess I'm not going to play anymore.
I see people fucking going full ham. They're like S+ rank, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! So, like at that point, you're only getting like 27 points, and you need 20,000 or something. It's like, please stop! This is misery.
The weirdest thing to me about that game is how competitive it is.
Yeah,
which just seems very un-Nintendo and very un-Mario.
It's very competitive. There are a lot of competitive hooks about this game.
But like, I didn't realize the extent to which you were competing against other people, though, because like obviously there's the multiplayer and you're ranking that.
Yeah.
And then there's the endless challenges. Here's one I didn't know about until very recently. Your maker score is also competed against other people.
Your maker score, the number of world records you have. I know that the fucking world records count for something because I was watching I Ate Your Pie one night, and he just had his chat making areas where you run to the flagpole. and upload those so that he would get first clears and world records on those just to up a score. I'm like, boy, that's fucking stupid.
The Maker one is
funny. It's funny from like you really took time out to do this and ask your chat to do this, but at the same time, it's like, why is that even a thing that's being measured?
The Maker score one is especially crazy to me because I saw somebody go like, "Oh, the number 100 creator has 10,000 points, so if you're at that level," and I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, you specifically know how many?" And it's like, apparently, like, the top creators, if they make a good level, they barely get any points at this point. And, like, it's so weird. Like, if at that point, like, if people play your level and don't like it, you'll start losing points. And I'm like, man, the whole concept of losing points in general, I'm just like, why?
Especially in that the versus mode stuff is funny because only the winner gets points and everybody else loses points. Like,
I mean, at least at D rank, you barely lose anything. And I think if you get the flagpole within like those 5 seconds,
you might lose less.
I think you lose less because I only lost like 6 or 0 one time or something. God. But yeah. I mean, especially competing makers against each other is so weird. Where it's like, doesn't that just kind of encourage pumping as much out as you can?
Yeah,
or you want people to make good levels, period.
I just don't know why that's even a ranked thing.
It's
just dumb. It's putting a dumb number on creativity that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that one bugs me. And then just the way, like, number 1 in those endless modes gets an exclusive costume. Right. And like number 2 and 3 get exclusive. It's like, cool, you made this content that like
only literally 3 people are gonna get.
Yeah. It's like, so like for everybody else, that costume selects thing is just always gonna be partially empty. Fuck you. And you know, I like the dress up part. It's a weird thing that I didn't really expect from a Mario game, but it's pretty cool. Until you get like the 5 easy to get things and then realize everything else is just like completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I got up to around 17,000 in normal endless and then didn't play for a couple weeks and now I'm like 25,000. Like I'm slipping down pretty noticeably. And you don't get anything until 10,000, so I don't know if that's happening.
That's rough.
It's so weird. Yeah, I got C rank in Versus. And it was like, congratulations, you unlocked the Luigi costume. And I'm like, oh, I'm out. This is dumb.
Fuck this.
Of all things I didn't really care about.
Yeah.
I should look up what B rank gives you.
Oh god.
Oh, Luigi.
So man, if they made anything in that game give you Waluigi, the fucking internet would be insufferable.
They should add more playable characters.
They should, absolutely.
Oh, I saw recently that apparently Toadette and Toad have a slightly different hitbox, which, whoops, that's fucked.
Yep, that's real messed up.
That's real messed up.
I've seen it soft lock a couple of levels. It's pretty good.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. I saw a Twitter clip of like, here's a setup that only they can get past and the other characters will just bonk. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that's nuts.
It's real messed up.
Like, what? They had to consciously change the hitboxes. Yeah, though. That's what's weird. Like,
that's the fucked up part.
With the way in New Super Mario Brothers, like their sprite isn't really hitting the wall, just also seems weird.
Right.
So, which makes you think, like, boy, if they can't get those characters perfectly, like, that probably doesn't mean good for playable Peach or Rosalina or whoever.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of hope in. In that.
That's crazy stuff. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mario Maker. Like, I was working on a level and I had the idea for that VLR one and just immediately shelved the other one to bang that out in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally like I got home from work and worked on that for like 3 hours, and then I went to bed, got up, and then worked on it some more, and then went to work, came home, and finished the level.
That's awesome.
It's just making creativity like be really fun like that.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. It's a cool to give that so many people that outlet.
And then have nobody play their levels. Oops.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't worry, that's all creative stuff.
Yeah, that's literally all.
Oh god,
yeah.
it's really true.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Where I was like, oh, if I make my level based on another property, just like Flash games would do,
You
I'll
chose
be able to get
Zero
more
Escape.
views.
You chose Zero Escape, a series that literally had to be saved by the West begging.
So you're saying I should make a Danganronpa level?
Go for it. I want to see how you pull that off.
I don't even know. I just said that as a joke. Okay? See, this is literally what people did in the original game, though. When you had all those sprite costumes, they would make like Legend of Zelda levels. Like, oh, it's Link, and it's a puzzle level, and all that's gone now, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I miss those.
I'm hoping at some point, at least some of that shit comes back.
There's just so many little weird things about this game. Like they hyped up cooperative levels, but like. You can't upload a level unless you can beat it yourself. So how do you make a level that actually requires 2 people, like they showed on the stream?
That's real dumb.
I did see somebody actually made a setup that like will open certain doors depending on how many players there are.
Yeah.
What?
Because it's like, that's what it was. A mushroom block will shoot 1 mushroom if there's 1 player, but it'll shoot 4 if there's 4 players. So like you can set up a bomb thing so that basically the players aren't activating it themselves like a muncher or something is. So if that activates and it shoots 4 mushrooms out, it'll blow up the door that is the single player mode and activate the path to multiplayer only. And then I think they also figured out if you're playing locally with 2 people, the mushrooms will move left and right instead of just always to the right.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's a way to set it up so that it can also only do a cooperative play mode if there's 2 people.
Really interesting.
But they were like, this is all theoretical. I can't actually test that online because of course not.
Yeah.
So that game is wild.
I want a rundown of every Mario where getting hit with the fire flower takes you down to small Mario.
Oh, geez.
And every Mario versus like it makes you big Mario. And then every Mario where the mushrooms always move right versus every Mario where they move left or right.
Or whether they change based on your facing. Because of, I believe Mario 3 does that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't think it does in this one. I think
they keep the behavior.
But apparently if there's something about multiplayer, we'll make them go left sometimes.
Yeah.
Is what I believe I saw. Anyways.
That is a game.
I will continue to slowly make levels.
I will continue playing them. That made the cost of admission worth it, is just being able to play the new Rhett levels.
There you go. Your own Rhett Entertainment Network that you can boot up and be like, here we go. Gonna indulge all of this.
Yeah, Rhett finished Flash 4. And now he's gonna finish Mario Maker. Just gonna be making. Everyone else will be moved on. He'll be making Mario Maker 2 levels.
Oh, jeez.
2030.
I mean, I'm sure people were still doing the first one, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's a long-term game.
I got an ad to buy I got an ad to buy the 3DS version of Mario Maker a couple days ago.
Oh, you mean Mario... That's what should have been Mario Player.
Yeah, that should have been the Mario Player. But, nah, we're fucking dumb. We made this real dumb version of Mario Maker that literally nobody wants.
You can make but not share.
That shit's $29 still. How's that shit still $29? And they're selling the Ocarina remake for like $17.
Crazy. So Polly.
Yo.
What else did you do?
Yeah, I did some narrative things.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Narrative things are fun. Who likes stories?
I like stories.
Like stories.
Tell us a story, Polly.
Do you like dialogue and dialogue boxes with text scrolling in them?
Okay.
Those can be okay, right? You like we call those visual novels because they're basically they're novels.
But you have to look at.
But you have to look at them. But I mean that's kind of weird that people say that because when I buy a novel like at the store I kind of have to look at it to read it.
What's the deal with visual novels?
What's the deal? with visual novels.
Instead of audiobooks, they should just call them sound novels.
Sound novels. Well, that's the funny thing, is that Ryukishi07 always calls his sound novels.
I know.
Which, that's just weird. Like, okay, but there's a... What about the visual? Like, I can't listen to Higurashi. It's not a sound novel. I can't just listen to Higurashi and know what's going on.
Can you?
I mean...
Well, Higurashi doesn't have any CGs, right?
It's got
it has.
some...
I think it has literally one, maybe two.
One, the infamous Rena scene.
Yeah.
So that's like that makes sense to me. Where, like he's saying, the music is what is elevating this from just being a novel. Like, I think that's a cool thought.
Okay, I
kind of get that, because I think Umineko doesn't have any CGs either, but the music is super forefront.
Yeah, the music is stupid good in that series. Too bad the series is bad.
Too bad it's so good, and we should all play it. Like, I have it on my. It's like I got it on my feed right here.
Yeah, like we're all gonna play through it again, and then we're gonna do a spoiler cast after every episode.
I love that so much. Is the thing that makes me sad. But it would be really hard to talk about the early chapters after having read the whole thing.
Yeah, like knowing where that story goes, it's kind of funny. Like,
chapter 3 is so good.
Oh man, I opened up my desktop and now I'm staring at Zero no Kiseki. Oh man. Oh man.
Wait, that's not Umineko.
That's not Umineko.
I know. It's next to Umineko.
It's Umineko adjacent in the sense that there's a lot of text here.
Yeah. Okay. So you played some.
I played some visual novels that were
sound novels, kinetic novels.
They are kinetic. I don't believe that I could influence the outcome of either one. So these.
Well, there you go. They're kinetic.
They are kinetic. These are kinetic. I played.
The text moves. That checks out.
I played 2 of these games that ended up being more thematically connected than I thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I didn't know that was like, I knew it was a trope. I didn't know that it was a trope that caught on to where I would play 2 games that were kind of roughly the same thing, like one right after the other.
I'm going to talk about, and I realized this is going to be another spicy one.
This is going to be spicy. Spicy. So the first one that I played was Heart of the Woods. This is a Yuri visual novel.
The cat, right?
At what?
The cat in the city. The cat walking around in the city, and they're like millennials, and they're sad.
It's kind of got that, yeah. It's got that millennial vibe to it. It's about a girl. She has a YouTube show that's about the supernatural, and she's got a friend who is a bitch. Oh, okay. Her other friend. Her friend is the camera lady / person that does all of the work for the show, and she's quitting the show. But before she quits, they're going to go on one last hurrah together. And the point of view that this game takes place from isn't going to be totally bitchy all the time about it and passive aggressive and real, just kind of unnecessarily mean about the whole thing. So yeah, that's kind of your basic setup though. As you're going to this place, there's weird shit happening. We gotta find out what the weird shit happening is, and we get there and like surprisingly little is happening, like nothing at all. So then all we're left to do is stew into this weird passive-aggressive personal drama that the main character has toward her companion's successful YouTube show that she's quitting working on because, you know, it's just like you get to that point where it's just like we've been in this creative relationship and the show's got your name on it and I'm just kind of like the background person, so that's why I'm quitting. I need to go find something and do my own thing. And like the other character is like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And like the main character just seems really offended by it. Like offended by the fact that she's not like, I guess, completely distraught and broken up by the fact. It's just like, no, I want you to go do your thing. That's cool. You know, I'm bummed that my show has held you back this long and you felt this way. I wish you'd have told me sooner. We could have worked this out. You know, like a reasonable person. So eventually we got to a point to where we meet another girl in the city, and she's like the girl that everybody's talking about because she's weird. Like, yo, I got a talking cat, and no, your cat doesn't fucking talk. Whoops. That's a good thing. This show that we're doing on the Supernatural is not going very well. So eventually we kind of like hit the splits where like character with the show and the girl that invited us to the village, they go off and they start investigating this shit because it's just like, okay, like I'm not gonna just sit around here and listen to the main character who is insufferable be angry all the time. I'm gonna go and at least try to make something of this experience instead of listening to a character whine about how much they don't want to be here. And I love that it's at one point that the character who hosts the show is literally, look, I will buy you a ticket to go home if you don't want to be here, and I will finish this myself. And this guy like, no, I'm gonna just stay. Nope. I'm gonna stay and just be a passive aggressive cunt and keep doing it. And the narration's gonna make it seem like it's totally okay, and this is the way I should be behaving. So of course this is a Yuri visual novel, meaning that like there's gonna be
John waiting.
The way you said that was just like, women, am I right?
Am I right? All that angst. So, okay. It's a Yuri visual novel in the sense that the girl that has the show and the girl that invited us here, they kind of end up hitting it off really well and having this really sweet and believable relationship that I liked a lot. And I really just enjoyed any time these two characters were on the screen together because their back and forth dynamic is real good, as opposed to these other two characters who were supposed to this other character who's supposed to be her best friend, but it's just like, oh no, she just secretly despises you. So those two are off doing their own thing. They're starting to uncover mysteries and all that fun stuff. But we're still left in the perspective of the character that I fucking hate. And she ends up in a relationship as well that is boring, not as interesting at all. It doesn't feel organic. It just feels really slapdash and thrown together to kind of accommodate where they want to go with this story. And I know Rhett's finished this game, so I know that he knows where this story goes and just how many sharks it jumps to get where it needs to go.
I mean, okay, question.
Yes.
Did you hate the main character so much while you were reading it? Because this kind of felt like a more, you finish the game and look back and go,
like, that's where I'm gonna go. See, like, this is a thing where, like, I thought she was a bitch while I was reading it. I didn't hate her until, like, this is a game where when I finished it, I had a few hours to think about it, and then it was like, oh, it all starts washing over you. How badly they handled this. Oh no. Because, like, it's a Yuri story, it's a love story, and then you get into the supernatural stuff at the end, and it goes absolutely bonkers. And
which is great.
Which is great. Like, that stuff is insane. I hated it because most of it is so centered on giving this main character everything she wants. And kind of, like, no real recourse for how shitty she's been. It's just, oh, you get this new relationship just out of nowhere, and it's like there's no, like, you are literally OP without spoiling what happens in this game, because it's so fucking crazy. She is literally OP. She is overpowered to the point of craziness. And while the other,
Yuri Kirito?
Yes. Man, fuck it, I'm just gonna spoil it. Somebody becomes a fairy princess.
Okay.
Somebody becomes a fucking fairy princess.
That's a good thing.
It's real dumb. And I'm just like, you are literally unbeatable. You are a god now. You've literally, like, the narrative gives this goddamn character fucking everything. And, so, needless to say, the only relationship I cared about at the end was Morgan and Tara. They are great. I don't care about Maddie and Ghost Bitch. Okay? I thought that they were boring, okay? Another thing that weirded me out about this game is that there are two hentai scenes, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's an R18 version of this game that you can patch to download. You download, you throw it in there, and it adds 2 sex scenes. So you think, okay, this game has 2 couples. There's going to be 1 sex scene per couple. No, it's just 2 sex scenes of the couple that I hate. And what really bums me out about this, and what really got my noggin jogging, and it made me start looking at it like, it made me feel a certain way. Because one character in the other relationship is a trans character. And their sex is only implied. So it really makes me question whether someone did not feel comfortable writing a trans character in a sex scene, didn't think that that was something worth going into. Is there something weird going on here that I don't know? It made me feel some kind of way about that. And I just, because it doesn't make sense why there's 2 sex scenes of the same couple when one was enough and they're literally almost the same thing.
Weird.
Yeah, it's yeah. It just left me feeling some kind of way, and I just I will say I will recommend this game if you need a Yuri visual novel in your life and you're not expecting it to kind of nail everything, but I will say that Tara and Morgan are great. They steal every fucking scene that they're in. Tara has amazing portraits. The finger guns is amazing every fucking time. It makes me laugh.
There's a spin-off focused on Tara.
Wait, really?
Did you see that?
Do what?
There's a spin-off. It's a short one, I imagine. But it's a little prequel spin-off, not visual novel, focused on Tara. I just posted it in the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm looking now. I see. Yeah, but it just kind of weirded me out a little bit that the game had 2 H scenes and it was just both for one couple, and really made me feel a little sus towards the developers when one of the characters in the other relationship is trans, and maybe you got a problem with that and it feels weird. I don't know.
Okay, can I say something? That
sure.
The defense I saw of that was that by doing it this way, they didn't have to confirm her genitalia.
I understand that, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with making that decision if you're writing fiction.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't think that there's anything if you're using it as a form of escapism, maybe that's fine. I don't know. I felt some kind of way. Look, I'm going to admit that maybe Yuri visual novels employ a level of escapism that I can't honestly just buy into, and maybe it's not a genre for me. I can fully that's something that I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble with the next visual novel I plan on talking about here in just a couple of moments right after I'm going to get in some trouble. People going to hate me. I played so after I finished that, I immediately went I still had I had installed these ages ago and just never played them, so I was just checking stuff off the list, getting the backlog cleared out, and it was just okay, I've got this other one installed. Kindred Spirits on the Roof is the doll baby of the Yuri visual novel scene. And look, I'm here for it. Let's check it out. This premise is interesting.
It's so cute. The art is so cute.
The art is amazing. It's so soft. It's like a soft, flat style that really it contrasts what you typically see in I think more anime-based looking visual novels. There's just a nice flat kind of approach to how the visuals are. That's not really a Western influence, but I kind of just like that. I don't know. It gives it a more painterly look in a way. In a way to me, I'm not an artist, so I'm not the one you go to for those kinds of specifications. Okay,
so it's like New Super Mario Brothers.
There you go.
Okay.
So, Kindred Spirits on the Roof is about a girl who meets 2 ghost lesbians on the roof of the school. And they have a dilemma. They don't know how to fuck. And they need somebody to teach them how. And their other problem is, oh, wait, we're ghosts. Whoops.
Okay, this sounds amazing so far.
Look, it's a great premise. I love it. So their idea is like, well, there's like the reason they're stuck to the school is because they died with regret loving somebody of the same gender, right? So that's fine. I understand that. So it's just like, well, if we can't fuck, let's make sure other girls can fuck. So we're going to play Cupid with all the girls we find around the school that might like each other. We can't do that directly. So person that we just met and we have freaked out a lot right now, you're going to help us do that. And she is the protagonist of a visual novel, so her only choice in this matter is, yes, I'll do that. So that's sort of this character's job of going around the school, like the ghosts go around the school looking for girls who might have a thing for one another, which in this school is literally everybody. Like, just everybody's gay.
Is it an all-girls school?
Yes. Like, look, like I said, I'm willing to admit that maybe there's a level of escapism to Yuri visual novels that I can't always buy into. And I'm willing to admit that that's my fault. So,
Well, again, it sounded like you liked this one for a bit.
I like this game for a bit. I don't completely hate this game. I don't want that to be the...
Wait,
I don't
are you
want
saying you completely hate the other one?
I don't hate either of their...
Which one? All right, if you have to shoot one in the head between Heart in the Woods and Kindred Spirits, just execution style, which one would you shoot?
Oh, man, A Heart in the Woods.
You didn't finish this one.
Yes, I did.
You did?
You finished?
I did.
Oh my God! Okay. You polyed it. You polyed it.
Yes, I
Last we heard, you rage quit it.
I'll explain why I was mad. Okay. Okay, we'll get there. So
I feel very betrayed by that answer just now.
How much you enjoy a visual novel like this is going to depend on how much you buy into the relationships, right? Am I wrong in that? In that, like, they can't just put two girls in a room, make them kiss, and that just be like, well, there's the hook. I love it.
Oh, I mean, that's Sakura Trick did that, and I was like totally here for that.
Like I said, there's a level of escapism that Polly doesn't always jive with, perhaps. Let's go with that. Like, okay, everybody's fucking down. Okay, fine. It's me. I'm the issue here. God damn it. Okay.
What, did Mario just join us?
Banned from Tumblr for anti-Yuri crimes.
I'm banned from Tumblr. Okay. First couple we're introduced to. All right. This girl bumps into a girl. It's like, oh fuck, I love her now.
Okay.
She literally just played Ys and bumped into her and immediately in love. And, okay, guess what? That's not enough of a setup for me to fucking like a couple. I'm sorry.
Is that the famous one where she goes to the toilet and is like, I'm gay?
No, it's just literally bumps into her, has a few words, character goes away. Holy fuck, I'm in love. And that's not the only...
She's under the ghost magic spell, obviously.
Obviously, right? That's gotta be it. But, okay. I like the character who this character likes a lot because it is a character with like a lot of really cool and understandable and relatable issues to a teenager. But I never really got the whole, like, I never bought this relationship the entire game. And it felt real bad that I didn't. Because I know that they really wanted me on board. But I wasn't. I don't have that kind of escapism. I'm sorry. And then there's another two people bump into each other relationship that I was just like, yeah, it was boring. I didn't like them either. Then there's the relationship that pissed me off. That made me.
And again, quit. How is this the better game?
It made me quit the game for an evening.
All right, I know about this one. Tell me.
So there's a girl who is in love with one of her teachers. Just because she's cute and that's it. Just says, I'm obsessed with you because you're cute. You're a small and cute, and that is why I like you. I collect cute things. This isn't weird stalker behavior.
Forbidden love.
She tells the teacher this, right? And the teacher is very responsible in her response. It's like, look, even if I felt that way for you, I am your teacher. You are a student. And that is a line that we should not cross. We should not cross. I will always be here for you as a friend, but we can never cross that barrier. There's a boundary here. Let us set it now. And then the game goes on for the next hour to drag this teacher for having this opinion at all. Like, no, she has to justify why she doesn't want to be in a relationship with somebody who just confessed to her. That's how all of the confessions are handled in this game. It's like, if you don't get an immediate response, well, what the fuck is up with that? The game is just so outraged at it. And it's primarily through the mouths of these ghost characters, yes, but it still drives me fucking nuts that, like, yeah, look, the teacher put a boundary down. She said, like, and the game is just like, that's absolutely disgusting. How could she do that? Look at her feelings. They're hurt. She's gay. Look what you're doing. Like, god damn. So, the game doesn't stop there. It keeps going with this line. And it's just like, well, no, we'll just think of a brilliant plan to get them together. Our brilliant plan will be very smart, and no one will ever think it's stupid. Why don't we make it so that every time the teacher sees this girl in this certain room, she always sees her in the correct light? Yeah, lighting. I'm not joking. Lighting. Make the teacher see the girl in the right lighting conditions.
This whole thing sounds extremely superficial, where it's all like physical attractiveness and like, oh, I bumped into you and immediately you're hot, basically.
Rat, that's stupid. If it goes like other girls, it is pure and perfect and good no matter what.
And
don't be ridiculous.
This stupid plan fucking works. It's so bad.
Oh, but Maddie was a bitch. That's the worst game.
And it's just like the game rewards this shit in the way that it just like slags on this teacher for like being the responsible one here. It drove me up a wall. Like I had I had a meltdown on Twitter about it.
See, that's where I thought the story ended.
No, the story doesn't end there because see, like there was
every time
Polly's like, I ain't gonna play this shit game again.
Yeah, it does. It gets worse, and this character is rewarded for everything. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I know people are gonna probably call it out if they remember. Look, I romanced the teacher in Persona 5. I get it, right? I get, like, oh, I'm being hypocritical now. But look. The teacher in Kindred Spirits on the Roof, she put up a barrier. She put up a boundary that very specifically said, hey, this is a bad idea. I'm not into this. Let's just chill on it. And then it's the way the game fucking drags the teacher for like a fucking hour. Non-stop about it. Like, this is the most unreasonable thing. And just the fact that it gets paid off and this character gets everything they want. Just
Hey Polly?
Yeah.
You're not convincing me this is a better game.
No. I'm not convincing myself, actually. I might have to change
Thank
that.
God.
I might have to change that. Okay.
You might have to change your execution, your zero time dilemma choice.
That said, there is one couple in this game that I actually think works because there's basis and work to make it work, and they build up to it in a believable way. And it's like, they're a trio of characters who they're best friends and they hang out all the time. And one of them ends up catching some feelings for one of the others. And they explore this idea very well in terms of how they lead up to getting these characters together. And then how you deal with that as a group. How does the third person not involved deal with this? How do they feel about it? How do the characters that are dating feel about maybe making that like third character feel like a third wheel? And they handle this whole, like, why couldn't I just get a game that was 3 to 5 hours of these 3 characters, and I would have been happy. Like, if you had just given me that whole storyline without everything else, if you just excise that portion, the Broadcasting Club portion of Kindred Spirits on the Roof, and put that on a game, I'm there. Because it's believable. It doesn't need any fucking provoking from the outside at all, because the feelings are there and believable. Like, it's just... Man... Ugh. How do you fuck everything else up so bad?
That's really funny, because I talked to another friend about it, and they were like, yeah, there's basically this one set, I think it was the Broadcasting Club, where I liked those sections, and then everything else, I was just waiting to get back to them.
Yeah, that was me, basically, during the last 3 or 4 hours of the game when things are starting to wrap up and you know where the story's going. Like, the main character is obviously going to end up pulled into a Yuri relationship somehow. I mean, because the conceit is that, like, the ghosts on the roof, they can't fuck, right? They need a way to do this. For one,
I've heard of this one.
Yeah, they don't know
how this resolves.
They don't know how to fuck. They don't know the first thing about it, to which I'm just like, why didn't this bitch just show them a porno then? Why don't you just bring a porn to school, bring the VCR and the TV up on the roof? You can do this. There's electric outlets. I believe in you. Show them a porno. Be like, look, that's what they do. You put the mouth and the fingers and all the stuff. The tongue goes there. Do all that.
Instead, they watch all the girls fuck, right?
Why didn't you do that? Dumbass ghosts don't know what Pornhub is. So, okay. The ghosts can't fuck. Good. The ghosts can't fuck, so they gotta possess people and fuck. And I thought that's a fun idea. I like that. I'm here for it. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with it. It's stupid, but it's stupid in a way that I can get behind.
And it's consensual, right? They ask.
It's consensual. They ask, but they aren't very kind about it for a while. Like the very the more outspoken of the 2 ghosts is very like, you know what, you should just like let me possess you and fuck somebody. Come on. Like, look, okay, the girl's like, I'm not even dating the other girl yet. Yeah, so what? Like, good God, calm down.
Okay, Polly, now you are convincing me this is the better game. Because this is such a weird premise, I'm kind of into it.
Look, it is a real... You know what? I'm keeping my vote.
Okay.
I think ghost fucking. I think the ghost fucking in Kindred Spirits is way better. I feel real conflicted about these games. I'm a little more conflicted than I thought I would be when I started talking about them. Maybe I didn't make anybody mad. Maybe everybody else is just as confused as me.
There you are. Like I said, I talked to a friend, and they were like, well, I really like the
Broadcasting Club is the best part of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the way the calendar works, you can, like you know who's in every scene because it shows you who it is. So what you do is when there's a scene that you don't want to watch, such as, like a fucking teacher and, like, a fucking student trying to, you know, manipulate a teacher into a sexual relationship she specifically said she doesn't want to be in. You want to skip those, turn on skip unread text and hold down control until the end of the scene, because I didn't watch a single goddamn scene of those 2.
I feel like this is disingenuous, though. You didn't get through the whole game. You skipped them.
Shut up, Brett. I only ended up skipping maybe 2 hours of content.
Out of like 30.
Out of a 20-hour game.
God.
Out of a 20-hour game, I skipped like 2 hours.
You were hesitant to talk about this with me for a bit because you saw that I had like 50 hours on Steam.
Like John's got 50 hours, and I'm just like, well, okay.
And I was like, no, Polly,
okay, wait, that very much wasn't.
That wasn't me that played this game.
Okay, that all makes sense now.
Explains a lot.
Yep, I'm a little prejudiced against this one for some reason.
Yeah, like,
okay,
we just need to get a supercut. We just need to get a supercut of all of the Broadcasting Club, and then we'll just put that on YouTube.
And all the ghost fucking.
And all the ghost fucking, just with no context whatsoever.
Yeah. No context would be better, it sounds like.
Maybe. Maybe. Like, I thought that the relationship the main character ended up in was a little sus as well.
Oh my god.
It felt a little weird to me. I wasn't feeling it.
We're batting like 1 out of 4 or something now.
1 out of, like, how many relationships are in this game? Is it 6 or 7?
Oh my god, it's way worse than I thought.
It's like,
it's a big game, right?
I like 1 out of 5 or 6 it is, I think. Somebody can help me.
Ghost fucking.
I know that listening played this, so
Polly, I'm gonna do some math for you.
All right, do the math.
Liking 1 out of 6 is way worse than liking 1 out of 2.
You see, not all visual novels are created equal.
In Heart of the Woods, you have a 50% chance of liking that couple.
I've got a 50% chance.
Oh,
and Royal Rumble.
I wish I knew that whole promo.
I'm liking that Fury couple. Which means I got a 150% chance of liking Heart of the Woods more. Good experience.
But Kindred Spirits has a kid trying to fuck a teacher, and that's not normal. And then they let her do it, and that's even less normal.
These ghosts possess those girls. They're genetic freaks now.
They're genetic freaks. Genetic freak is such a good term.
Polly, it seems to me like you have to play the Terra spin-off episode in order to really feel like you have a good sense of Heart of the Woods, though, right?
Oh, you think so?
It looks like a very different thing, very different art style, very chibi.
I will probably look into it. I'm not immediately.
So she rules, so.
I'm not. I like Tara. I think she's great. She will exist in my mind as just like that cool character that's got a real shitty friend, and she's way too nice.
Maddie. Okay, Maddie is the other one.
Yeah, Maddie is the shit.
The other one
yeah. Broadcasting club, sports moms. Yeah, they're not good. Punk's not dead. That's not good either. Hot for teacher is terrible. Mom and daughter. Yep, that's real bad.
Mom and daughter.
Mom and daughter leads to ghost lesbians.
What?
Look, man, that game is weird. That game is weird.
You're saying Hot for the Teacher's not the worst one?
Well, Hot for Teacher, I don't know. Like the mom and daughter one is like it's not literally mom and daughter.
Yeah, elaborate.
Oh, okay.
It's not literally mom and daughter. It's
like the ada.
The main character of this game is supposed to be a high school student, but she is written like a 25-year-old. Like, at no point did I ever... I kept spacing out and thinking that my character was a teacher because of the way that she is always kind of, like, in control of every situation and the way she sort of acts toward everybody. Like, she feels like a person that is in authority and not, like, an actual student. But, yeah, she has sort of, like, a mom-daughter / big sister-little sister... thing, and yeah, that's kind of where ghost fucking gets involved eventually. The ghost fucking is real good though. The ghost fucking's okay. I'm okay with the ghost fucking.
Okay, can I say a few things about Heart of the Woods?
Go for it.
So I read this game and I thought it was okay.
Oh, you talked about it, didn't you?
I don't even remember if I talked about it because I was playing Trails first at the same time and I realized bad timing to play two kind of text-heavy games.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought they were just going for a very fairy tale vibe, so I didn't mind the whole thing kind of wrapping up a bit too nicely and cleanly. And it was super cute. And I think the problem with it is that it was so super saccharine, super cute that I couldn't get into the porn at all. Because like Polly said, I just did not like...
It's for the worst couple.
And it's for the worst couple. I just did not like them at all, really.
Yeah.
Tara and Morgan were great. But ultimately, it came away from that game feeling positive.
Yeah, like, look, I will recommend Heart in the Woods. I will say, like, go for it. Like, it's fine. Like I said, Yuri novels, I'm coming to realize might employ a level of escapism that Polly just doesn't jive with. I'm willing to take that as being on me. I'm not going to say it's bad.
Yeah. Whereas from the outside, listening to all this, yeah, Kindred Spirits on the Roof sounds extremely problematic in like almost every couple. But then Ghost fucking sounds real hot.
Like
I will probably like this one as well for the complete opposite reason.
Right.
Whereas in Heart of the Woods, I liked the story and didn't like the porn.
Like there are individual characters and moments in Kindred Spirits on the Roof that I really liked outside of the Broadcasting Club. Like I said, like from the East Bump relationship, we just call it that because that's literally what it is. Right. I really enjoyed the Object of Affection character a lot. Mm-hmm. Like she was very relatable.
Object.
She's an object, of course. But yeah, like the Broadcasting Club steals that fucking story. And as for Kindred Spirits on the Roof, I think, like, I feel bad calling it out, I guess, to a certain degree. But another degree, like, where, like, I absolutely can't budge is, like, that fucking weird boundary moment with the teacher kind of being slagged for an hour and a half, and then that character still being forced by the narrative to acquiesce to this, like, sexual situation that just ultimately never had a fucking moment of feeling behind it whatsoever.
Holly, you can't have, like, bad boundaries or unhealthy sexual relationships between girls. That doesn't make any sense.
And like I said,
completely pure and nice and perfect and the only true love.
Oh God, the purest. Yeah, you know what? At least, like even though like Kindred Spirits on the Roof flirted with it at the beginning just for like a few lines, at least both games didn't go for that whole bullshit purest form of love bullshit you see.
Yeah, they do all fuck. That's nice, at least.
Yeah, like, they bone, and it's cool, and it's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big... Like, I believe that, like, Kindred Spirits on the Roof does value its chastity in a lot of ways. That does come off as real weird because, you know, the girls are fucking for the first time. But, like, it's very matter-of-fact in, Heart of the Woods that, oh no, these characters have fucked before, it's fine, it's no big deal. This is a thing people do.
That's fine for screaming.
So okay. To sum up our Yuri visual novel corner, which I've derailed this podcast on for about an hour now.
No, it's been less than an hour.
I think the Heart of the Woods is totally fine. Like, if you want more Yuri VNs in your life, this is a very well-written one. I think that, like the prose is really good. I think that the Tara and Morgan stuff, like, I really was into that. It goes to super crazy highs by the end that are ridiculous, and it's got this fairy tale twist that didn't really set right with me, but I'm not always that into super saccharine sweet endings and shit. You might like that. I would say go ahead and give that one a go. Kindred Spirits on the Roof. I would probably say go ahead and play that too if you want it. Like, if you don't have the same level of being jaded and being a miserable old fuck that I do, who can't appreciate escapism in a way that I feel that this game approaches it, fine. You know, like you will probably have yourself a good time. But yeah, somebody go do a supercut of just all of the scenes from the Broadcasting Club, and that would be like if you're not into that whole bit of escapism, yeah, somebody go do make that video and then go watch that.
This is fluffy, low drama, right? That's the idea.
Exactly.
That's sort of my obstacle with it. Like any kind of like that's a big thing. Is like the fluffy, low drama.
Yeah. Like I think that's sort of where I don't jive with a lot of Yuri, in that it's just really fluffy. There's not a lot of conflict in terms of just like, I don't know. It doesn't feel substantive to me, and I'm not trying to say that in a mean way. I'm just saying that it lacks substance in that it is fluff. It is cotton candy. It's not full of calories. It's not going to be your... You know, it's not going to give you a visual novel experience in the way that something like Steins Gate is going to give you, or something like that. That's got more of a substantial story to it. If you like little cute love stories and you want that, that's great. enjoy to your heart's content. I'm not going to stand in your way. Like I said, it just employs a level of escapism that doesn't work for me. But I can recognize quality work where it is, and I think that both of the visual novels that I read are just really fucking high quality.
Yeah, I think that putting that nail on the head is sort of what helps me, because I've struggled getting into a lot of this genre of stuff. Is like I think everybody needs like kind of low intensity entertainment.
Absolutely.
And that's absolutely important, obviously. So like sometimes that can be just like fluffy like light on drama and conflict, whether going into just nice love stories. I think that a lot of people get that with fan fiction. And like I have my just vegging my low intensity entertainment like that, whether it's like watching YouTube videos or rewatching sitcoms or something, or
writing vor fanfics,
I think it is there's no vor in my fanfic. So I think that's totally fine. It's just that is not, I have not jived with that kind of fluff serving that need in my life yet.
Yes.
So I kind of want to, because I want to enjoy everything. I want to be able to enjoy everything.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet, where I've jived with something like Kindred Spirits. And it probably won't be Kindred Spirits, because I hate that game forever. It's evil, obviously.
Maybe someday I'll be the one that
talking about it.
I'll be the one that makes the supercut. That we need of the broadcast.
Make the Yuri visual novel that you want to read in your life.
That's what needs to happen. See, I had such a violent reaction. Exactly. I had a violent reaction.
The pornographic one now.
Yeah. Now I need to make the actual porn. Now I need to actually have that moment of like we had with We Know the Devil, where her lullaby was like a violent response to that. Now I need to have my violent response to Yuri not being what I want.
I would love to play that, Polly.
I would love to help work on it.
Hey, you told me that. You said you were interested in maybe writing, like, we were like talking over each other. You said, I'm interested in writing romance now that we finished afterwards. And I said, I'm interested in like writing really awful horror. Just like bone-chilling, miserable stuff.
Me and Rhett are writing the next Yuri epic. Everybody stay tuned.
I am so hyped. Absolutely.
5-minute break.
Sounds fabulous. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Can I ask
we will be right back, and
we'll
toss it around the horn again.
That was great.
5-minute break.
Polly, did you enjoy Kindred Spirits?
Did I enjoy it?
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Enjoy it. We're live, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Define enjoy. Are you asking if I masturbated to it?
Yeah.
No comment.
Fine. I'll ask you in DM later.
Yeah, there you go. Look, I'm just saying, there's a couple scenes. They're probably alright.
You can say yes if that's the answer.
I'm basically saying yes. By me saying...
Okay.
By me saying... I'm not going to answer that. Anybody that says that, right. It's basically a confirmation.
Because Heart of the Woods, I was like...
I was left
no.
So just like, yeah, that's a thing that's happening right now.
It's such a weird shift just with how sweet that game is, and then like, oh, I'm spreading open her legs and licking her clit. I'm like, whoa, whoa.
The way the other girl, like, I love the way she reacts to it though. She's like the protagonist girl is like, wow, she's being awful forceful right now, and the ghost girl is very sensibly, look, it's been 200 years. Finger fucking myself is not enough anymore.
Oh my god, I forgot about that line, though.
I literally had to stop and laugh because it was so good. Like, that's the only good thing about that line. Any of the sex in that game, that was the best part.
All that, I was just muted while getting my grapes. Oops.
It was that was just a real good moment of like a ghost. It makes sense that she's been dead for over 200 years. Yeah, okay, maybe like if ghosts can fuck themselves, you know, maybe it does get boring after 200 years, and it's just like, okay, somebody here who can do something about it. Yeah, okay. Get in there. The Kindred Spirit girls needed to meet this girl. That's probably because she is a ghost and she can fuck.
The most ambitious crossover of all time.
There you go. That's like a fanfic
Kindred
waiting
Spirits
to happen.
in the Woods.
It's right there. It's right there. All the fanfic writers in the world. Like, there's a freebie.
Brett didn't ask me if I jacked it to the VNs I read.
I'm not sure we want to know.
Oh boy!
Given a couple of the ones I know you've read.
I mean, I would think Boyfriend to Death is like absolutely like multiple times. Yes.
Oh yeah, like that's like literally rubbed raw. Like there is skin flaking off. There is skin flaking off because it's a good way to simulate what's happening on the screen as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, how many faps per Fate visual novel?
No comment.
Man, I had a weird moment the other day where I saw Yuri of Mashu and the protagonist from Grand Order.
Uh-huh.
And my initial thought was, hey, you shouldn't fuck your servant. That's messed up. And then I realized, like, oh, wait the original Fate, like, that's literally the whole thing,
That's literally the whole thing.
Like, it's weird when the porn is actually canon.
Yeah, like, look, man, everybody wants Astolfo as a servant, and we know why.
I don't know why.
I liked when he told me that I ruined all the Jean fan art for you.
Yeah,
you've seen the
show.
Yeah.
It went from neutral to disgust. And more of a disgust in, like, I don't know why people keep fucking drawing her. Like, all these hot girls are cosplaying as her, but she is herself as an ugly character.
Yeah.
Like, inside. Like, she's just awful.
I can't fuck her just because she's real evil and wants to kill children.
Well, but the story doesn't think she's evil, is the important thing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's right. I kill children.
It's like, God, edgelord much?
And then they even fuck up Evil Jean.
Yep. Yeah, they fuck that up because they give her an I am the shadow, the true self. I am all of her angst at being murdered unjustly. But it turns out that's not really her. It was her boyfriend that got mad. It was the manifestation of her boyfriend's anger. she didn't have any anger or angst about being murdered. She was perfectly fine with it because she's so.
It's like it ruins both characters in one fell swoop.
That's just like, man. That's just like, wow. They were really channeling Nasu with this, weren't they? Or did Nasu write that?
No, this was all Higashide, who was incredibly incompetent.
Oh, that sounds incredibly incompetent. Yeah. Yeah. If I was murdered, I would probably have, just a little bit of anger about that.
That'd be okay. Makes sense. We could explore that nuance.
Yeah, there's nuance. Like, hey, if I'm dead, and I know why I'm dead. Look, there's a game called Ghost Trick. I don't know if anybody's played that. It's kind of a fucking masterpiece. That's how you handle a character dying and being aware that they're dead.
Thank you.
It doesn't relate to Fate at all. But, hey, I will take any opportunity I can to plug a great game like Ghost Trick.
Yeah. That was my number 2 in the same year that BTD was number 3.
Oh, right, it was.
It all comes full circle.
It all returns to nothing.
Fate fanfic handled it well, but it's fine.
Is somebody not wearing their headphones?
Bring mine.
I'm getting a weird echo occasionally.
It's not me. It's not me. But I guess we'll just let Rhett deal with it because I don't see anybody else complaining about it, and I don't hear it myself.
Okay.
Yep. It's just it's once again all your fault, right?
So we're gonna pass the mic to John Thayer. Come on and do anything you like.
Okay. So I had a big trip to Canada last weekend. That's why we skipped the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very tired when I got back. So like all this week, this is like the ultimate admission of defeat, I think. I just watched like 2 seasons of The Office.
Wow. That is literally giving up.
It's just giving up. I never watched it back then, but my brothers kept talking about it. Like they make references to it all the time, and it's just like, I don't understand. Fine. And I watched a bunch of that this week.
And now, you get those references.
I get those references. Like, they constantly would say, "You ignorant slut!" And that's from The Office.
Oh, great.
That's a good thing.
It's a great joke. It's a super great joke. I don't really care about it, talking about that very much.
Okay.
I think it's funny.
We all need some light entertainment.
I just wanted to give that picture, go back to the light entertainment thing, is just binging 2 seasons of a sitcom over the course of a week.
I think we've seen like almost every version of John Thayer giving up in terms of the media he consumes. I guess like we had the Castlevania binge, which was for one type of trauma.
Yeah.
Then we have the Fate trauma. And now we have The Office, that moment of near suicidal binging.
Okay, don't worry, Polly. There's one we're still missing.
Oh?
It's when he gets back into Fate Grand Order and drops like $15,000 in it.
Oh my god. Like, if John Thayer gets so into a gacha, if anybody on this podcast gets into a gacha so much that becomes a thing, they're not on this podcast anymore.
Could you imagine those conversations and like somebody trying to justify that?
Okay, look, I'm not going to call anybody out by name.
I know.
I'm not going to say anybody's name. I will just say there are a lot of people that I follow who play gacha games, and I don't get it at all. Like, I don't get it, and that's really all I can say about it without being mean.
Yeah.
It's just like, because I see the stories.
But I've been looking up the stories. The real whales of dropping like 5 digits on it.
Yeah, we're talking people that are doing like literally blowing as much as you would on a new used car or something.
Oh, significantly.
I thought you were talking about the stories for the games for a second, which nobody ever talks about.
Nobody ever talks about the stories for these games.
Ugh. Fate Ghost story is so bad. Ugh.
I saw a YouTube video. This guy has spent $70,000 on Fate Grand Order. I'm like, oh, okay.
See, the thing with...
You know what's depressing about that? Fate Grand Order doesn't even have porn. Think about that. The reason people pick up Fate to play it in the first place is because you get to fuck Rin Tosaka. Right? I'm not wrong here.
I get it. You like the toe sucker.
No, Red, that is you. That is you and John Thayer slobbering over Fire Emblem Chick's feet being posted on Twitter the other day. We have proof of this, and I will go screenshot it if I have to.
That was ironic slobbering. Thank you very much. I was poking fun at Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
Rhett's like,
being
intentional feet. Yeah, we're poking fun. Yeah, we're poking fun. Sounded you're really assuring me there, Rhett.
The thing with gacha is like, most of them is like, I listen to Granblue music and it's so good, and I see Granblue art and it's so good, and then I'll see art.
I just download the art online.
Yeah, yeah, and you can listen to the. I've been listening to the music.
Yeah,
and it's great. Yeah. And then fake the art's ugly, and then. Fake characters. I don't understand. I have a feeling that people say Granblue story. I have a couple people I trust that say the Granblue story gets a little good later on. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably like probably Final Fantasy 14, probably most like long running webcomics where you just like get into it and it's bad. And it's very bad for the vast majority of it. But then you get kind of invested in it because you just sunk so much time into it.
Yeah, like it just becomes like a sunk cost fallacy issue here.
And it does get better as it goes along. So you kind of experience that arc of improvement, and it feels like hyper magnified.
Mm-hmm. So I don't feel Final Fantasy 14 deserves to be in this conversation. People are way too high on that story.
Final Fantasy 14 has done way too much to earn its stripes for me to bag on it at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm suspicious, but okay. If I get into it's with that expectation that it's going to be like, okay, I'm just sort of gonna live in this bad thing for a bit, but if I stay invested, like Homestuck or whatnot, I'll just like by the end of it, I'll just like think it's the best thing ever.
That's really the key. Is if you can just hook John. It doesn't have to be good. You just got to be able to hook him enough, and it's like, boom, you are in his classics library.
Yeah, that was my arc with Ruby too, where I was just like, this never actually got good, but it kept getting better, so it felt like it was good because it wasn't getting worse.
Right.
But it started out so bad.
The only way you can go is up.
Yeah. Oh, I can foresee having that kind of arc in Granblue and it being nice, but not until after.
So the next form of John giving up is actually playing Final Fantasy 14 for like 6 months.
No, that's it.
Is that what happened? Never mind.
No, Colin. It doesn't get worse. Everyone says it gets worse, and it didn't. Volume 4 and 5 are like actual television versus whatever the fuck 1 and 2 were. Ruby gets better as it goes along, and the people who say otherwise are weird and wrong. And that includes a bunch of people
that did like 2 the most.
Yeah, that's so dumb. 2 sucks. Volume 2 sucks. It's so bad.
Look, man, all I'm saying, if you put porn in gacha games, dude, you are making some fucking banging ass money.
They didn't have to. Fate made $1 billion without porn.
I know, but look, what could they do? Dude, put one fucking Rin naked in there. One.
Hey, if you want naked pictures of Rin, there's other ways to do it.
But it's been proven that you can make people with phone games pay for this stuff. So, put one naked picture of Rin in this big old pile and make people go fishing for that. That's all you gotta do.
I just don't get it because, like, I see naked pictures of them fake girls all day on my Twitter.
I do too, which is why it's fine. It'll never affect me. But I'm just saying, look, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big business brain. We've established this as new canon at the start of the episode, Brett. I don't know if you've been keeping up or not.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, you have a business degree.
Yeah, I could get a business degree if I wanted one. So, there you go. Naked Rin, that's your key to happiness.
I've got a Reese's peanut butter big cup right here. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty happy about it.
I have a Zojirushi thermos. I keep water in it, and it stays very cold.
Excellent. That's not as good as a Reese's Big Cup, but
no, it's cool. Probably not.
I bet you all wish you had Reese's Big Cups right in front of you. That's fine.
I'm a little jealous right now.
Yeah. Not as good as a moon pie, of course, but you can't get those either. So.
Yeah.
I haven't even talked about anything.
I know, it's weird.
Well, you watched The Office, and then,
I watched some shit ton of The Office,
and then didn't finish your game.
I didn't finish my game. I'll talk about that in a bit. You can all talk about our creative enterprises after Rhett. Rhett talked about his. But the other big thing, I don't think I talked about this on the last one. I beat Ys Oath and Felghana.
Oh, hey, that's a good game.
Yeah, it's a real good game, huh?
I really like that game a lot.
I just said it and I was like, yep.
Yeah, it's like, what is there to say on this one?
What do you say about that? It's literally, I'm not going to say it's perfect because there are a few bosses in that game that drive me up the fucking wall.
I don't think they're definitely smarter than the ones in
yeah.
I think they got noticeably better with the boss designs. They feel smarter, fairer.
That continued with Origin. There's a lot of stupidly good boss design in Origin. I just don't like the tower concept at all.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I
think if I want to play that, if I want to watch that, I'll just go I'll just force After 5 to play it on Expert again, and then I'll enjoy those boss fights and his anguish.
Perfect. All right, I think Oath of Felghana is perfecter than Napishtim. I think I either like it. I think I either like Napishtim a little bit more or like them both about the same.
See, I think that there are some smart evolutions of the formula that don't make it unrecognizable, and they don't bloat it in a way that you think a sequel would. So that's kind of why I prefer Oath and Felghana over Napishtim, is that it advances it just enough that it doesn't make it bigger, it doesn't blow it out into, just this unrecognizable thing anymore. It's still about that same thing, but it's just a little bigger in all the right ways.
I think it's the same length.
I think it might be.
But it feels longer. It feels like, not in a bad way, it feels a little bit more complete and epic in some ways.
Yeah. I
think it's because it has a really good final dungeon in a way that
it's so good. Yeah.
kind of wibbled on.
Yeah. And Valentine Castle is amazing.
Valentine Castle is amazing, and then the one after, it's got two killer
really great dungeons in a row. Just super awesome music.
Yep. And then some good ass bosses. Nice little story. That
crunchy enemy design to where it's just they're fast, but they take enough hits to where it feels like they're challenging enough, and
differentiated.
Yeah.
The last dungeon has one checkpoint at the very beginning and one checkpoint at the very end.
That's real good too.
Makes me real happy.
You've really got to, unless you are super good, you're going to inch your way through that shit and pop on that healing ring every now and again.
Yep, took 2 hours. No, it took 2 hours. It was a good time.
I didn't find that healing ring till way late in the game. And boy, oh boy, when I did, it got a lot of use in that final dungeon.
So, that's a good time. I think the world in Napishtim feels fuller just because Felghana has such a constricted overworld. It is 2 screens between all 5 of the big levels. Yeah. You are going from level 1 level to the next and the next and the next.
Yeah, even East 1's world map is bigger.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the big point of comparison where it falls flatter, is because its world feels a little less fleshed out. Mm-hmm. And I think overall I just vibed with Napishtim's story setting characters a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I like the island in Napishtim a lot.
They tell a really good localized story there, and I'm a really big fan of that, when stories aren't necessarily it's the entire end of the entire world, but more of just a localized phenomena where it's just that's sort of what I like about The Last Story, is that even though I never finished that game, I like that it's a very localized story telling just what's happening in this little part of this bigger world. Very much, but you look at games like the Trails series, obviously, do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So that was my arc with Felghana, is okay, this feels like a kind of tighter, better video game in a lot of ways. Napishtim kind of, it invented all that. It sort of completely started everything anew. So in that sense, it kind of feels a little bit more vibrant, a little more important, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's very important because it modernized Ys in a way that it had never been modernized.
Yeah. It made it we pointed out, like, looking over their whole backlog of games, like, Ark of Napishtim is kind of like where modern Falcom begins.
Yeah, like
first Trails came out right after that. Like,
yep.
Reign of Kondo.
Man, it's kind of crazy how much Falcom comes up on this podcast now, isn't it?
Yeah,
man,
sort of like they make the best games.
I wonder if it's going to come up again next time.
Yeah, huh? Put on your polythinks there. We might maybe. There might be something to keep an eye on about that after 5. You never know. That Falcom cast probably happening.
Comcast.
Falcom cast.
Falcom cast. Yeah, so Oath and Felghana, it's not that I think really one is better than the other, it's that I think they complement each other perfectly. Because Ark has that very vibrant, this is a new thing, that kind of good energy in the setting, and then Oath is, we made a really solid video game with this formula. And now the two of them together kind of add up to something just even greater than the sum of their parts, I think.
Yeah,
I love them both.
I agree with you.
I'm excited for Origin. I'm also really excited for 7. I'm really excited for more Ys. I'm really excited for more Falcom. They make good games.
They really do. They really do. You know, like, hey, going into more like Ys Origin, I think that you will probably jive with that game more than I did.
I told you I really liked the Big Dungeon in Ys 8, and a couple other games that make me think, like, okay, this is a good formula for me.
This is a thing that you can do. You can base an entire game around it. It'd be fine, and
it'd be good for old John. I played the first 3 hours of Alliance Alive, and I kind of fell off it.
That's the saga-like, isn't it?
It's by the people that made Legend of Legacy. But this one was kind of nicer received.
I have Legend of Legacy. I don't fucking know why, but I have it.
It looks nice. The music's good.
Yeah, it's content that, boy, that's just a real fucking pattern with those games, isn't it?
Yeah,
looks good, sounds good.
It's a Hamauzu joint. He's the Final Fantasy 13, Saga Frontier 2. So he's not like the Saga composer, but he's like the lower tier Square composer that you still hear everywhere. And I think Alliance Alive soundtrack, where it's like, okay, yeah, I like him. I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib. It's less like overtly video gamey, more atmosphere, which I struggle with sometimes. But right. Alliance Alive seems great, and again, it was a lot better received, like 10 critic points higher than Legend of Legacy. So it seems like they learned some lessons there. I just think I started that when I wasn't in the right headspace for it. I think I need to return to it much later. At a later date.
Like, it's something it's going to jive with you the moment you go back to it, but right now, maybe just not the time. And I like Jetstorm's take that Ys Origin is the most RPG maker.
That's an excellent take.
Like, that's definitely, like, that's not a bad way either. We love RPG Maker here.
I said that about Trails 3rd.
Yeah. You will find out about us liking RPG Maker style here in a bit.
The Alliance Alive, the big thing is that they have, like, the end of, like, this first or second chapter is just like sudden stake setting in a very cool, smart way, where they balance it, where it's not like where they don't set any stakes and doesn't feel meaty, but it's not like Xenogears, and then the whole village gets destroyed. Killed. Oh, isn't this intense? It's just like they do something that just like hits you really hard in the heart, but not in a way that feels manipulative, because it's not so over the top that it feels bad.
Yeah.
And they incorporate a traditional Romancing Saga mechanic into a story beat. They teach it to you in a story beat when they introduce it. And it's just like, this is that thing from Saga, but it's never used for anything cool there. This is so cool.
We finally figured out a way to make this fucking work.
Yeah. It's really funny. The battle system is just Romancing Saga. But
that's weird that you could give you can actually make a mechanic feel good if you just give it context in the narrative.
Yeah. Right. That's what we kind of said last time, was like Saga is sort of just mechanics divorced of context.
Divorced of context, whereas it sounds like they took a mechanic, gave it context, and suddenly, this actually is kind of nice.
This is nice, yes. So it seems like a good thing. I hope to return to it when I'm in a better headspace. Right. And that's all the art I've been consuming.
That is all of the John consumption.
We can talk at the end kind of where we're at with our various... I'm releasing a shmup this week, probably.
Yeah, you probably got more going on than I do right now. Like, I'm not actively doing a creative at the moment.
Okay, yeah, I got kind of mixed up there.
I got your help on something, but that's going to be very useful when I continue.
Yeah, when you're ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm staring at a to-do list. It has like 40 things on it, and I've checked off like 35.
It's almost there. It's almost there.
Almost there. It's so hard. I hate polishing games, making them all feel getting everything just right.
That was the weirdest part of doing Poly Dungeon, is polishing a game that is all text.
Polishing a shitpost.
It's a game full of shitposts, and I had to polish that, and it was so weird because that literally it was the most unfun polish route of just like read every text box. There are 1,500 of these things. I don't want to read them. I know I got beta testers to do this, but I don't trust them. I'm kidding. I trusted all of my
good screenshots there.
I poly tested all. I love all of my beta testers.
Of course. I whined about this earlier today with some friends, where I was like, people talk about like polish and how, you don't need to enjoy polished video games. It's good to enjoy like rough, messy.
They never fucking mean it.
They never mean it, and also there's no distinction.
It's like fucking posturing is all it is. You sound like a goddamn indie nerd when you say it, but you don't fucking mean it. I see it. I've seen that shit on my timeline so much, and it's just like, motherfucker. I bet you're the kind of motherfucker that would play her lullaby and be pissed that we used the default text box. You would.
I mean, there's definitely very different levels of polishing where, like, presentation and stuff, or then there's just, like, broken shit where, if you click to stage 2, it actually brings you to stage 3. Like,
that's a big whoopsie doodle, and it needs to be fixed.
That. Well, it's just like there are games that are meant to convey a complete experience, and then jam games, sketch games that are meant to convey a concept quickly.
Yeah.
And that sometimes that is what you need to do. Sometimes you don't need to make the big finished thing. You just want to get this idea out. Yeah. And I respect and love that. I play a lot of those on itch.
Yeah.
I think all three of us put a lot of polish into our games. I don't think any of us are releasing games with like, well, there's still these other things I could do that would make it better.
Nah.
But
well, I mean, except the inventory system that we could have put into her lullaby and shit like that.
Yeah.
And the dating mechanics, of course.
System. Obviously, we needed original background art, and we needed to hire an artist and pay them $1,000 for it.
Yep. Need a few more endings.
Knife went into your inventory. Would you like to equip knife?
Would you like to, literally, what would you do with our story that needs a fucking inventory? You dumb motherfuck. Because you didn't read the goddamn story at all. You opened it and you saw that it didn't look good. It didn't look good to your dumb, inflated sense of dumb, expensive indie games that are, that aren't really achievable for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it looks expensive, y'all fucking love it.
It's like that. We complained about that fucking Campster vid where he was like showing, I'm gonna do small games now, like this Devolver Digital Hotline Miami.
Like what the fuck, dude?
Okay, so that was my. I'm not even really advertising my game. I'm just complaining that I'm putting all this into polishing the thing and making everything feel just right, shifting the pixels over 2 pixels that it's just right and centered. And
I do that too.
It's so much.
That's why I just mock that shit up in Photoshop and then just get the numbers and then put them into Game Maker that way. Then it works. My alignment's not off.
You can just drag stuff to the center in Flash, and it's still like drives me nuts when I see something that's off a little bit.
There's no shortcut. It's gonna be hard no matter what.
Right.
I try so hard for symmetry in my dumb Mario levels.
So, yeah, we polish our stuff. It's hard.
It's not easy.
And that counts even if it doesn't. It's like you could rebuild the RPG Maker game in a new engine or get new art, but then you're just making a different game.
Yeah.
It's making it as good as you can make it within the boundaries that you set of the story to begin with.
Yeah. If you start taking the John game and then you put it in another engine piece by piece, you're ending up in like a lock sock scenario where it's not the same anymore if you put so many patches all over it. It's not a sock. And is that still your sock? Is that still the same sock you started with? If you keep patching
Did you just what the fuck?
Somebody will understand what I'm talking about. It's a thought
just talking
experiment.
about some philosophy,
it's a thought experiment.
Yeah, of course. You take the ship, if you repair the ship and you take every piece of wood out over the course of 5 years and replace it with new wood that's better, then is it the same ship? I get where you're going, Paul.
John, I used Locke's socks as a reference. You see,
what is a locked sock?
Locke's sock.
What is a locked sock?
Locke is the name of the person who owns the sock.
Like in Lost.
Okay.
Okay.
John.
And the
Locke.
reason I chose this one is because the name of my website is socksmakepeoplesexy.net. See, it's thematically relevant. It was okay. Smart of me to use that as a reference. I'm so sorry, Polly. That was rather than the ship of Theseus. Son of a fuck, John.
Okay, but if every cell in your body gets replaced over the course of 40 years, are you the same person?
Nope.
They'll stay the same, though. I thought you didn't get new brain cells. I thought... people say that. It's like, what the fuck? What about your brain cells? What about the eggs? If you have a uterus. I thought those didn't change.
Dude, I'm just glad
I thought you were doing a bigger egg thing.
Everybody... No! Oh, my God. Move on, please.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Polly. The
podcast
great
is over.
Of course you would have gotten tired of the very good egg meme that everyone immediately jumped off to get to the Bethesda.net account meme.
Oh,
because that was
God.
so much better.
Here we go!
Need more time on the egg meme! It was good! The Bethesda.net meme was just a reset.
Egg meme got like 8 hours.
I could have kept on that for like 2 days. I was so here for egg meme.
Bethesda meme took that shit out back and shot it in the head.
It was the same thing. It was the same as the privacy. We've updated your privacy settings.
Yeah, it's the same as the privacy shit. Yeah.
And I cheated the game.
John, there's like actually 3 memes and they're all remixes of each other. Like,
Bigger Egg meme. Bigger Egg was something special, and we didn't appreciate it enough.
John, you should make it your duty this week to bring back egg meme yourself.
Oh my God.
Get your best bigger egg memes out there.
Understood. I mean, what I did, I actually went through every single one of a couple friends. I Googled their name and then egg. And then liked the tweets, so they got a bunch of likes for their egg tweets.
What the fuck?
I love egg meme, y'all. It was so good.
You had joy, you had fun, you had seasons in the sun, but it was not even really a season. It was literally like 8 hours.
Just 8 hours for that gold! Pure gold egg meme! Ugh.
Can I talk about my last thing so we can end this?
Talk about whatever you had to talk about, and I'll sit over here and...
Oh my God. I don't even know how to start now, Paul. Help.
Oh, man. So earlier in this podcast, I was rendering judgment on the Yuri visual novels, Rhett. Would you like to render judgment on something?
I'm going to render judgment on the video game Judgment.
Whoa!
Which is
Weird. How did I end up saying the same thing that you were going to say?
Weird. Whoa.
Whoa, synergy, brah.
This is a Yakuza game, in case anyone didn't know. Like,
even though they presented it, like the way they started presenting that game,
the initial trailers definitely made it look like some different thing. Where it's a detective game and it's in the same city, but
I was like,
this
holy
is a different
shit!
Thing from Yakuza.
They made a competent detective gumshoe game. let's go. And then I don't want to play it because it's Yakuza.
It's Yakuza. But then, so like, there's a bunch of new mini games in this that do go into the detective thing, and they're pretty much universally bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's lockpicking that is like extremely unfun and like physically unpleasant because you have to lift up the right analog stick to kind of move the needle to get it where you want.
Yeah, it did not look fun.
So it is the most sensitive I've moved an analog stick like ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's Mario 64 levels, or even worse levels of like, oh, you're tapping it like 2 millimeters too hard, it's gonna not work. Yep. Like, you just have. So I am like gripping it with all my fingers to get as much like dexterity on that damn thing as I can. It's really not great. There's like another lockpick, or there's like kind of a safe lock cracking thing that only comes up like 5 times in the whole game. That's better than the other lockpicking. There's a couple pixel hunts, like very Metroid Other M reminiscent.
Oh, God. Man, does anybody remember the one pixel hunt in Other M that was literally impossible and everybody needed a guide for?
Yep. I looked up the Red Supre. I rewatched the Red Supre of that whole game.
Is it like you're kind of outside looking at Ridley's egg or something? Yeah. I remember getting stuck on that I got stuck on that like my second time through the game. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I remember spending like 25 to 30 minutes standing in one place. What the fuck do you want from me, video game?
Jesus Christ. So nothing in this is that bad, but it is very much the exact same style of. So it's when you're doing investigations. So you go into first person mode and you can walk around a tiny bit, but you're zooming in slowly panning to find like evidence basically.
Right.
And it's just none of them really add anything meaningful to the game as a whole. And then kind of the last one is tailing missions, which are about as fun as you'd expect them to be.
Those looked like, I was watching Revan91. Shout outs to our good friend Revan. I was watching him stream it while I was working and shit. And the tailing missions and the lockpicking stuff just looked like utter fucking misery.
Oh yeah, After 5 mentioned something funny, like, literally every single investigation one has a cat in it.
Yeah.
And it just starts meowing like really loudly when you start those until you find it.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't find the first couple, so I was just like, what is the mood of this game where there's just always this cat meowing? It's so weird. It's very strange. And then like at the end of the game, I'm at like this climactic moment and you have to do it, and there's only like 2 minutes to do it, and it's only one thing, so it's like super easy, but there's also a cat, so I'm like panning around looking for the damn cat, and I did find it. Like usually they're like outside a window or something. Actually there's a few more systems. So the tailing is not that bad because it's very forgiving. Like, everybody is blind as a bat. But it's also really goofy that everyone you tail uses the same animations.
Yeah.
And they will just, like, kind of spread their legs apart and hunch down and crane their head around. And, like, literally every character does that.
It looks like, real dumb.
It's so overly transparent and goofy. So one super weird thing is that there's one of those missions. I mean, I didn't do every side quest. I barely did any side quests. But as far as the main story goes, there's one tailing mission that changes it up in a really interesting way, in that there's multiple people.
Oh.
So you're only focused on one guy, but he's got like 3 companions, and they will not necessarily go the exact same way he does.
Oh.
So there's one part where like he kind of your target kind of breaks off from the others, and they like spread out across the room, and you're like, oh fuck. Like,
oh god.
It's this kind of brief little stealth thing where you've got to maintain eye contact on your target while avoiding these other guys. It's so weird that this only happens once, as far as I know.
Yeah.
That's like the one I did fail because I just got totally busted. I was in the wrong spot, and then the second time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go here, and like I don't know how the camouflage works because it's like you just run up to the camouflage spot and hit circle, and it's just like, okay, you're functionally invisible now.
Yeah.
Like, you're just standing there playing on your phone or whatever, just trying to blend in, and like they can't see you now. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Game doesn't really surface any information on how well hidden you are. It's just kind of
well, because like usually if your target spots you, the mirror will start building up.
Yeah.
But if you're super close, it will fill like almost instantly.
Yeah.
So like but sometimes they'll do stuff like they'll turn around, and I'm like, if he walks by me, am I just like instant gone? And that never really happens though. Yeah. So, what's the other one? There's a few chase sequences, which is kind of a thing they brought back from either 4 or 5, and they're basically QTEs. Like again, nothing to really write home about these. That like you can move a little bit and you can avoid some stuff that way, but the bulk of it is just QTEs.
Literally just Shenmue and Yakuza.
This game does feel more Shenmue than the others at times, for sure.
Oh no!
Well, just because it's a detective game where it's like there are parts where you're walking around talking to people, like trying to get information, like. But again, it never goes quite as hard as Shenmue does, and like where won't tell you where you're actually supposed to go. Whereas Shenmue is more like, you have to ask like 30 people, have you seen any sailors? to find the one that knows the answer. But yeah, I did feel a little bit more Shenmue in this towards the start because there's less combat, and then by the end of this game, there's so much fucking combat.
Yeah, it just kind of gives up that.
It goes full Yakuza, anyways.
Yeah.
You have a drone, which again, doesn't use a whole lot, like. And they are so goofy the way they use this thing, where they're like doing these stakeouts and like, oh, we've got to see inside this 3rd-story window real covertly. Let's bring our huge fucking drone out that like, and just fly up to the window right there, shine a light in, and like no one ever sees it.
That's so good.
No one is ever like, there's a huge fucking drone right outside the window there.
Man, they were able to detect that shit in Grand Theft Auto 3 San Andreas.
That's amazing. And again, like the story, especially towards the start, is very much a Yakuza story.
Oh yeah.
You're dealing with a subsidiary of the Tojo clan.
Yeah.
Like it's just. And now that I've played a lot of these games, like it's so obvious when they do like, oh, this is a spin-off family from the Tojo clan.
Yeah.
They're all just made up for this game, like obviously. Mm-hmm. Like I've realized even the Yakuza itself like has not a ton of connectivity from game to game. And like that's what I thought was so interesting about Zero is that it was harder to tell which characters were newer.
Yeah.
And then which characters did end up actually carrying over to the first game. Like the fact that there was a significant cast that carried over made them feel more connected than a lot of the other games do. Because then you get to Yakuza 2 and it's almost an entirely new cast.
Yeah. I shouting out Revan again. I watched him recently play the original Yakuza. Ooh. PS2. Shit, like English dub and everything.
I was going to ask if you did the English dub because I found out Mark Hamill does Majima, which is amazing. That's actually really good.
It's so good. It's one of those things where you're glad you're watching somebody play it.
Oh god, yeah, I would not play that game.
It was so good. Just watching him suffer through that fucking game, it's so good.
Because I started on 4, and it was like, man, this game feels fucking rough to play.
Yeah.
And like by 5 it was better, but then the PS4 was out by that time, so it's like, oh, it still feels pretty rough. And then you get to 0 and it's like, oh my god, what happened? It's way better.
It's like a revelation.
That game was serious. 0 was such a revelation. And then you get to on PS4 Kiwami 2, and the frame rate with the Dragon engine is not as good as 0 being 60 frames a second. So like, oh man, when I started Judgment, and I knew this was going to happen because I'm not waiting for a PC version, I saw that the frame rate in this was just like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, you kind of know what's happening.
It doesn't really chug, but it's not very...
Yeah, it looked pretty rough in areas to me.
There's one area that has water in it, and there's a, like... I forget. So, you know, Yakuza is very known for the big special moves that you do by hitting triangle.
Yeah, the heat moves.
So they're heat moves in Yakuza. They're like EX moves in this or something. Like they changed the name, but it's functionally exactly the same
shit.
So there's an EX or whatever move where you toss the person into the water, and the frame rate just fucking like hits like 10.
It just shits itself.
It just becomes a slideshow.
This is the one where you have the execution move where you like punch somebody into a car and he like kicks the car, and then like some Yakuza guys pull him into the car.
Yeah, I never got that one. Apparently it's like the very specific location that they can have. Like, it's so weird though, where I was seeing new moves for the first time, like up to the final boss, basically.
Right.
Excellent.
Where it's like just certain conditions when you hit triangle, like what will happen. It's very interesting. There's a few, so some positives on this game. There are new systems in the combat that I do think work pretty well. Like, it's much more mobile because one of the things is you can run into a wall and bounce off it and like do attacks from that angle. So like you can run up to a wall, kind of wall kick off it, and go into a heat move and just like lay into dudes, kicking them in the head and stuff. And there's another one where you just run into a guy and you'll automatically kind of flip off their shoulders, and then you can transfer that into a heat move that is basically just dropping them to the ground.
Yeah.
So it's just like this very powerful move that all you have to do is run up to an enemy and then hit triangle, and it's just like, oh, half your health bar is gone. So like having much more flexibility in the combat. Like I think in general, the combat in this one felt the most balanced of the ones I've played recently. Even though there's one thing that really sucks is that enemies will have like dangerous moves that will actually lower your maximum health permanently.
Yeah.
Or not permanently, but like temporarily.
Yeah.
And I was also playing on hard.
Oh yeah.
So I've been killed from like half health at a couple times in this game. And if you die like 3 times, it's like, do you want to play on easy? And I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. But like, and healing yourself is remarkably expensive, and the game also has a much better balanced economy compared to like Yakuza 0.
Games
like,
never have a good economy. It's kind of ridiculous.
Like,
you got
this game
5 million yen in 30 minutes.
This game keeps you like broke for the entire first chapter for story reasons, and then you're pretty much broke the entire game, but you have some money after that.
Yeah.
But like healing yourself from one of those HP lowering moves costs 20,000 yen. And buying a portable healing kit costs 40.
Oh, jeez.
So, like, at the very end of the game, I just went and stocked up on some more of those, and I had, like, 5,000 yen left. I was like, okay, that's it.
That's incredibly poor for a game that is Yakuza adjacent. Because even though I quit Yakuza 0 in, like...
Well, Yakuza...
Chapter 5 or something, I still had like 13 million yen.
Well, Yakuza 0 is different because that game is like all about the bubble economy and inflated money values.
I suppose, yeah.
Because money is your skill points in that one. Like, you buy skills with money. Whereas this just has, more traditional skill points that you can buy on stuff. But yeah, this game keeps you very broke pretty much the whole time. Like, I think the most I ever had was around 300,000.
Oh, wow.
Which is,
That's reasonable.
So when an item is costing 40, like, that is meaningful.
That's a huge chunk of your available money.
I think there was one side quest that gave 400,000, but then during that quest you ended up spending 100. I didn't do it. So there's way less kind of open world stuff in this. It's much more focused on the main story, and then
some side quests.
But the side quests largely are from like your detective board.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's what's available. There's a couple things in the world that are okay.
Like go do some Bracer Guild stuff.
Basically, because you're broke.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to do that right now. They changed how dating works, and it's super weird because it really didn't have any place in the story, but it's there. So in previous games, as I recall, you dated hostesses.
Yeah.
And that always felt really weird to me.
Yeah, I can
where
see
you
that.
go to a hostess bar and then just start actually flirting it up with her and then going on real dates afterwards.
Yep, that's a real weird line to cross there.
Yeah. So in this one, you meet girls through, proper side quests. And then eventually they're like, hey, I'll give you my number. We can chat later sometime. Yeah. So they're not immediately like, she's your girlfriend now. It's like you build a
relationship over the course of Yeah.
So I went with this one girl. So like you do a quest for her, and then she's like, hey, let's hang out and go to the arcade or something. And then, as you do it, it has a much more natural quest of like her being like, I think I'm crushing on a guy. I don't want to say who though. Wink, wink. We're just totally friends right now. Wink, wink. And then
wink, wink.
So that all of them, as far as I can tell, end with the girl being like, I want to be your girlfriend, and then you can say yes or no, and then basically that's the end, and you never see him again.
Oh, well, there you go. That's good video game girl mechanics.
So it does unlock a thing where they text you the whole game, and then once they're officially your girlfriend, you can text them and go play the same couple of mini games with them, and nothing else really.
That's real weird.
It's real weird.
Because like even like Persona 5, with as kind of bare bones as its dating stuff is, it still has like little special moments and parts of the story that will be different based on who you're dating.
That's what this is missing.
Like that's really cool. Like little cool things like that are rad.
Because I remember in Persona 4, it was you bone at the end, and then that's it.
That's like the big thing. But like you like they try to like weave in certain moments for like if you're in an intimate relationship with a girl, like they Tingu, fuck you. Tingu did a thing in chat. God damn it.
Okay.
But yeah, they do a thing like there will be certain days where there will be like, oh, it's like a specific holiday, and hey, a boyfriend and girlfriend might want to do something on this day, and then it'd be like, yeah, like let's do that. That's a cool little way to make my relationship feel better. It feel more like a part of the experience that I am creating in this world. Yeah, like this sounds kind of just like typical video game girl kind of thing where you did the thing, and now it's like you maxed out a bar and it's no longer needed.
But it's like it doesn't even contribute like in any way. It's just a system that's there.
Just kind of a there thing.
And it's frustrating because I like how they improved it, where you're not dating hostesses and that awkwardness there. Like the way they're introduced through their own quests is much more natural. But yeah, I was thinking at the end of the game where it's like, okay, the whole team is coming together. We're gonna do the thing. It would just be nice if one of your girlfriends would show up there to be like, hey, I am a character that existed in this world too.
Yeah, like even when like Persona 5 has those big moments at the end where it's like your girlfriend is a major part of like, I'm sending you my power too.
Yeah, like literally anything would have helped
anything. Yeah. But it's just like it's just a throwaway part of the game. It sounds like,
and it's weird because story-wise, he kind of has this awkward relationship with the girl he used to date,
right?
Who is a major part of the finale.
Oh, good.
So she's there, but my girlfriend's not there. So what the hell?
What the what? Oh, jeez.
So yeah, that's the system that's there. Also, this game, like every good Yakuza game, just goes fucking buck wild at the end, and I beat it like a couple hours ago, so I'm super high on that right now.
I saw the point of no return message that you posted online. It was very good.
Which one? Wait,
you posted a point of no return message for Judgment.
Yeah,
where it's like you can't go back from here.
I know that one was so direct. It was like, geez, okay, like telling you to make a second save and stuff.
Yeah.
I think people are getting a lot more direct with that lately.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that one was even like, this is gonna take a while, so if you need to like go to sleep, like do that. Like that was.
I like that so much. Because I've been there.
So
I've sure been there.
I mean, I've kind of been there a lot with this game, where it's like, because like it's a detective thing, and like you're closing in on the mystery, and it's like, man, it's 2 a.m. I gotta go to sleep. Fuck. Yeah. And I turn on the game the next day, and I'm like, oh my god, I stopped in the middle of this. What was I thinking?
Yeah, it's like playing Danganronpa, getting to the investigation, and it's just like, I know this investigation is going to take an hour and a half, and I really should get to sleep. But it's just like, you're getting home from work and then starting your next day on an investigation always feels weird, too. It's like, the investigation isn't the fun part.
Yeah, I'm thinking more it's like, you get to the trial and go, I am like half hour late to bed. I got to go to bed.
I had that happen multiple times, too.
Yeah.
Yup. I set aside a day for the last trial.
Yeah.
Man. So yeah, the story's good. I think probably I would maybe put this as my second favorite of the recent ones. Like Zero is the best, and then this, and then maybe Kiwami 2.
Yeah, like having just watched Revan play it, I thought the story, like I still liked Yakuza Zero's story better.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like that's still kind of probably permanently going to be the high watermark for me in like every regard, just because it felt so much better to play than the previous ones. And obviously, this is the fourth one of these I've played like in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like this one made, and this is pretty horrible. It made me think maybe I don't need to play Yakuza 3 Remastered when that comes out.
Maybe you can give that one a little space, get it a little down the road.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for 6 to come out into PC, and then I'll play that one because because I've heard like Kiwami 2 and this are the new engine on PS4. 6 is the first game of that engine. Apparently, it runs like the worst of all of them. So maybe not like, and I have the regular PS4, so I've heard like
that could be,
even the Pro on that one is not great.
Just chugging.
Yeah, that's a good game, but again, like, if you're gonna play Yakuza game, I would say go with 6 or my 6 0. Definitely not 6. But so this is just kind of a spin-off that just maybe sits in an awkward place because it's definitely not different enough. Like no one who isn't a fan of these games is going to be converted by this one. If you played a Yakuza game and hated it, this isn't going to convert you because it is still a Yakuza game.
Right,
you know?
right.
But if you like those games, then sure. Like, you know.
Just go for it.
It's kind of weird. Like, they went all in with this one and doing the English dub and stuff, which they haven't done since, like...
That's been forever.
It was either 1 or 2 was the last one.
Yeah, they didn't bother dubbing these for a very long time.
Like, 3 was the one where it almost didn't... They almost stopped localizing it with 3, and then they finally did, and we're like, but we're taking the hostess bars out.
Yeah.
And people got mad. And then they did 4, and we're like, but it's digital only. And then, or 5 was digital only.
Yeah, 5.
And then 0 hit, and then the series got big again. And they're like, okay, cool.
I think it's just kind of like the right climate for that series by the time we hit that point, I think. Yeah,
it was definitely the right game in the right place because it was a prequel.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like shit to play.
Yeah. And Sega stopped marketing it as Japanese Grand Theft Auto, which it never fucking was. But Sega of America always tried to market it as that, and it's never been what Yakuza is.
So you played 0, Kiwami 2, Judgment?
Yeah. Cool. In about
a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of Yakuza.
Kiwami 2 is like last August, I think. So it's been a larger gap, but still, like, those Kiwami 2 and this one play, like, incredibly similar. And, like, the other weird thing in this one is that they brought back multiple combat styles.
Yeah.
But they feel very similar. Like, in 0, you had 3 styles per character.
They were real different, too.
Yeah, and it was like, there's the super fast one, the standard one, and the real big, slow, heavy-hitting one.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like, you have the one that's supposedly focused on single targets and one that's focused on groups. And they just have very similar timing and weight to them. And I kind of just used one of them for like 80% of the game.
Yeah, like I was just using the default for both main characters when I was playing 0, so
I like the heavy one in those. I like just holding down triangle and like when this comes out, you're fucked.
It's gonna really hurt.
Yeah, I had fun with this, and I think I know what my next game is going to be, so we'll talk about that next time.
Oh my.
The weird thing is Mega Man 11 crossed my mind real earlier.
It might be a
John
good side
mentioned
game.
Playing it, and I was like, huh, that's weird.
Huh. Huh.
I don't know what the is.
I don't either.
That's fine.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's a podcast.
You think that's a podcast? But
I didn't think this would be such a long one.
I have one more thing.
You got one more thing.
I got one more thing, and I'm gonna do my best to keep it short because it has been a thing that has been talked about on this podcast before. But I just want to throw my hat in there too, and I'm doing so in an effort to not only convince Rhett to kind of jump on board, maybe give it a look, but I'm also gonna put out maybe a plea to the chat. Hey, why not give this a look? I played through the Lonely Wolf Treat series that John brought up.
I forgot about this.
These are a series of narrative-focused RPG Maker games that are very sweet. They're very warm, just because the characters are. Yeah, it's just the way the characters are written. They're approached from a very warm point of view and more of an idealized kind of warmth, where like it's kind of, there's a little bit of escapism in here rather than something like Trails in the Sky where the writing is warm from a human level because you can relate really hard to some things that are there. There's also, but where like I think that the Lonely Wolf Treat series, it approaches that from more of an idealized point of view, but it's still very sweet, but not saccharine. And I just kind of like the way that it handles the things that it's trying to handle. Like this is it's like it's cute, it's sweet, and it's warm, but it's also dealing with shit like xenophobia and. Like it really goes really hard on xenophobia, and you sort of kind of get that it's that is a topic that is very near and dear to the author's heart, as are queer relationships, which are also handled in this series, and I think that they're handled very well, in that it's not like overblown / idealized in a way that I feel that maybe some of the Yuri visual novels that I read in the past couple of weeks may have treated those relationships. Like this is something that kind of like grows over the course of these 20 and 40 minute games. There's like 6 of them now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they go by really fast. You could I burned through them all in one sitting, and I kind of regretted it because it was just like, oh man, I could have just played one of these a night and just had like a nice full little 6 days after work or something kind of thing where you feel good before you go to bed or something. But yeah, like these are just really good. What do you think, John Thayer, of Lonely Wolf Treat series?
It's so funny that we brought this up right in the same episode as the Yuri stuff earlier. I was like, I don't really like soft, fluffy stuff. Can't vibe with that. But then this is just like completely connected with. It's just like I don't know what the balance that it strikes is exactly.
I think that what keeps this from falling into the I am way too fluffy route for me is that there is a tension, there is a conflict, and there is a lot of just kind of inner struggling with like how to deal with the feelings that you're having, how to approach having the relationship that you want to have with somebody or somebodies. And I think that it's really good and respectful with how it's handling all of that. Also, there's like a really tasteful R18 comic the author did, who benefits. What was it again?
I'll look it up.
Shit, I know it benefits a really good charity, Planned Parenthood, I think.
I think it might be Planned Parenthood. Wait, no, I can just check her.
Yeah, just check her thing really quick. But yeah,
yep, 100% of sales go to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah,
that's
and it's
nice.
And it's a little side story that sort of happens after the third game that kind of gives you a little more insight into a certain character's background and maybe some of the things they're dealing with. But there's also like a really tasteful, really well done sex scene involved as well. That is. It's simultaneously hot but also warm and really, really nice and gives you the warm fuzzies. So it's just like it's probably right up there with some of my favorite Yuri content ever. Like it's just a really look. I'm telling you, if you're familiar with like the characters and you play up to the third one and you get there and it's just like, and then you read that, it's like, oh, that's actually like really like it treats these characters well. It's done in universe. It is canon. So it's like it's very respectful, and it doesn't feel like a fucking fanfic or something that is completely out of context where it's just two characters fucking. These two characters kind of end up in a place where hey, it just happened. It's not a big deal. Like they're not making a big deal about it, but it is important that this is a thing that happened because it is a point of growth for both characters.
Yeah. And the fifth game was such a climax for a lot of that stuff too, where all the relationships kind of come to a head in a cool way.
Everything kind of collides in a really cool way, and like I got to the end of these, and I'm bummed for two reasons. One, that it's probably not going to see another one until next year.
Yep.
Yeah. Two, why don't I have a series that I can just come back to and write more stuff when I want to?
I know.
I'm bummed that I didn't think of this.
It made me just think like, oh my god, episodic. You can do that.
Yeah, like why don't I do that? Why haven't I done that? Why are my big projects still big projects? Why don't I make them smaller in scale and just release them over time? So yeah, I'm gonna implore you to check out this series. At least give the first couple of games a go. See if it's your kind of thing. They're just nice, comfy little RPG Maker games. No real conflict or combat or anything into them.
There's conflict, but there's not combat.
Yeah. There's conflict, just not combat. And
it's story conflict.
Really cute story with a lot of cute characters. Great designs, like really great, nice, soft, artistic aesthetic going on that I really like. That's all kind of custom made by the artists themselves.
She makes writes the games, programs the games, makes the art, makes the music. I think that very like handcrafted feel that I really vibe with.
Yeah, it like they're really good. Like these caught me completely off guard. Like I knew from listening to John talk about them, it's like I'm pretty sure that this is really good. I just wasn't prepared for how good I would think that these things ended up being. I was not prepared for that. It's really good. Definitely do yourself a favor. Check these out. That's really all I'm going to say on the matter before we get ready to go ahead and close things out here. So before we do that, of course, thanks to everybody for stopping by tonight, hanging out with us. It is always cool to have you folks out there in the audience. And if you're downloading it after the fact, we love you too. We just don't love you as much. And of course, thank you for the bits and subscriptions that have come in over the course of the episode. Those are always appreciated. So, John Thayer, let our lovelies at home know where they can find you.
farawaytimes.itch.io.
And Rhett, where can they find you?
This would be great timing for me to post my Mario Maker course ID thing, but I don't have it on hand, so you can find me making Mario Maker levels.
Yeah.
On twitter.com/Rhett.
Yeah.
You can find you.
Sure.
There you go.
I'm sure they're there. Just look in media. Play them. He makes the best Mario levels.
Exactly.
The best.
The most underappreciated level maker there is in the community.
I said best. I didn't say most underappreciated. I said best.
Well, I'm saying he's the best, but he's unrecognized as the best officially. Okay. Like nobody out there has said. Yeah, like the plebs haven't discovered Rhett yet.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. All right, and we will catch you next time. Again, thanks everybody for coming out, and keep an eye on the site's Twitter at SMPS_updates, as well as the front page. I'm going to be kind of trying to get things together and situated for episode 100, which will be going down at some point within the next month, I'm sure. We still got to kind of get together and hash out how we're going to do that, when we're going to do it, and how we're going to put it all together. So just make sure you keep an eye out for how we're going to handle all of that. That way, if you want to be on, we can get you on. We'll do everything we can. And that's basically going to be it. So remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. All right.
Woo.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do about throwing y'all over to someone. For host, you could say, give somebody a big old hello. Who do we want to give a big old hello to? Let's see. My friend Virus returns. He's over here. He's playing Contra. We like Contra, right? So everybody go over and say hello to my friend Virus returns. I'm going to kick y'all on over there. All you got to do is just stick around for the host, and it'll pop you on in there. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for stopping by.
On episode 99.
Boom.